2, 1.
Sounds like Terminator to me. Wow.
Right? Thank you.
That was cool.
Wow, that was the greatest intro I've ever seen to a podcast, ever. You win, you win the prize.
Thank you. Well, like I said, I know the guy who wrote the music. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to this special edition of the Next Level Gaming Show. It's Thursday night. We are ready to rock and roll, and my God, do we have a great guest for you tonight. This is one of my bucket list folks to have on. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't even know how to fully do this. Composer, video game soundtrack musician extraordinaire, concert musician, and now CEO and president of Intellivision. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our absolute pleasure to have on our show tonight Mr. Tommy Tallarico. Welcome to Next Level Gaming. Oh my goodness.
Tommy.
Holy cow.
Confetti. Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I've been watching you guys' show now for like the last week, and happy to be here. This is like a gangbang happening. 1, 2, 3. Like God.
Oh, I did click this was not for children on the YouTube channel, so they're not going to shut us down after this one. So, man, thank you so much, man, for coming on with us tonight. This honestly is awesome, B, for a number of reasons. Number one, there's a lot of great legacy that you've had, you know, in music and in game soundtrack composition. But now we've got to look ahead to holiday and a brand new game console that we've just got to talk about tonight. So, thank you for coming on.
No worries. No, what the hell was I thinking? No, it's great.
So, I mean, and my God, the chat room is just unbelievably packed right now. You've got fans, man.
Thanks.
You got people that were lined up. It's like lining up outside the bar door, waiting for the band to come in.
All right. And they'll want front row seats. So.
Yes. So, thank you again. So, how's everybody doing tonight, guys? Everybody good?
Oh, fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah?
Phenomenal.
Fucking awesome now, yeah.
Yeah, really.
You know, this with Tommy, and then, like I said, PAX South here tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
PAX South. So,
Yeah, I tell you what, Mike, when you told me Tommy was coming on, I was real excited. Some of us, you know, I'm 47 years old. I know Peter is too. A lot of us are a little bit older, and just the thought of a retro console like Intellivision and having Tommy on here and his background with the video game industry, I was totally pumped up for the show. So I couldn't be more. Thanks, Tommy, for coming on. We appreciate it.
No worries. Happy to be here.
No, and just so to answer your question, John. So John said to me earlier when I showed the video to everybody before you got to see it, he said, "What's with the shifty-eyed guy?" right?
I was going to say, that's the dealer from
Las Vegas,
Intellivision Poker and Blackjack, the pack-in game.
Yes, the pack-in game.
Oh, okay.
Wow. That was my first. So while everybody else in all my friends had an Atari 2600, my family was always different. So Good night, everyone. We had the Intellivision. So that very first game I ever played on a console like that was Las Vegas Poker and Blackjack. As a 10-year-old, I'm learning to gamble. It's all right. And that Shifty Eye dealer, like everybody remembers him. I don't even think he has a name. I think we just call him Shifty Eye dealer guy.
Shifty Eye dealer, yeah.
So, and so all the other footage, except for, of course, the stuff from the Amico that's in that video, was all me playing. So, Tommy, Astro Smash was my game. I mean,
wait till you play. Wait, if you like Astro Smash, that was your jam back in the day in the 80s. Wait till you play the new one. You're gonna flip out.
Yeah, I am.
Unbelievable. Just the visual style. In fact, the folks, this is actually, I'm going to give you guys an exclusive right off the bat. Next level gaming exclusive.
Yes. Here we go.
So we know what kind of podcast this is going to be. So what people don't know is that some of the folks from the original Earthworm Jim team are actually doing Astro Smash as well.
Really?
Awesome.
Yeah, nice. On Earthworm Jim and Astro Smash at the same time.
Oh my goodness.
Just because I wanted I wanted to make sure, because it's such an important title for us, we wanted to make sure that visually it was stunning. I mean, when the rocket shoots up and then it splits the asteroid, and then it's like it's on fire and it glows from the inside, and then it has all these effects. I mean, it's just really, really amazing, and it's a perfect example of, like, you don't have to have PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X graphics, photorealistic graphics to have fun, right? Or have an epic art style. I mean, you take a game like Ori and the Blind Forest, right? Wow, so beautiful, so cool. I mean, that's a certain art style. It's not like photorealistic, but it's just beautiful to look at. So that's really kind of what we're accomplishing with Amico. Look, we don't have the fastest chip. We don't have the real time so and so such and such, insert buzzword here, but you don't need that. That's our point. Our point is that, things can still be beautiful and epic, even if they're in 2D or 2.5D. You don't have to have all this fancy stuff,
GameZar said,
Tommy,
GameZar said, no blast processing, I'm out.
No ray tracing?
Make no mistake, we got that.
Well, Tommy, I had listened to a prior interview that you had done before the podcast tonight, and what really impressed me, you hit something home that you wanted to kind of have, like, grandparents and grandmothers and fathers and mothers and children, everybody be able to, like, take part and play a game and join in together. Because you're right, you said something about today's controls, how complicated they are, how many buttons they have. And with this Intellivision Amico, and, you can capture a huge audience by gathering more people together of all ages, and then with an amazing soundtrack like Ori and the Blind Forest, like you said. It had an amazing soundtrack. So we're just, like, really excited about this system.
Well, and if I had to summarize, if somebody said, look, you have one line to tell me what Amico is, I would say it's the Wii times 10 or times 100, 14 years later. Can you believe the Wii was 14 years ago? Right?
Yeah, I know.
But the thing about the Wii is that, like Nintendo didn't even realize what they had. It was the third biggest console seller of all time, 102 million units sold, generated $50 billion in revenue. Like my mom bought a Wii, right? My mom bought 2 video game consoles her whole life. Christmas in 1980, she bought an Intellivision, and in 2006, she bought a Wii so she could go bowling. I mean, Wii Sports was nothing more than a tech demo, but it's one of the biggest selling games ever of all time. It brought people who normally never played video games, it brought them together. Grandpa could play with the grandkid. Well, but then, when the Wii came out, then Nintendo kind of went right back to their wheelhouse. Now, look, Nintendo's the smartest company out there. Let's be frank. They know their audience better than any other video game company out there. The millennials who grew up on Pokemon and Zelda and Mario, that is and they just hit it out of the park every time. But now all of a sudden, all these casual and non-gamers want more bowling. Where's more Wii bowling? But they went right back to their wheelhouse, right back to their what they know. And you saw games like Metroid Prime, which I worked on with Shigeru Miyamoto for 5 years. Metroid Prime, Smash Brothers, Pikmin, Mario, Zelda, Pokemon. They went right back to that. So the reality is that a great percentage of people never actually even bought another game for the Wii. They were just happy bowling away. And then, so what we're doing is we're taking that coolness of what Wii bowling was, but doing it times 100, right? Catering to that casual crowd, catering to those non-gamers, and catering to moms and kids and grandparents and guys our age as well too, and that's kind of the cool thing about it is there really is something there for everyone, but people just need to see it and play it and experience it, and then they'll be like, oh wow, this is super cool.
Awesome.
I'm down.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm down. It's sad that I never experienced the original Intellivision. Also, growing up in the Netherlands, it was not really the very very popular due to Commodore 64 MSX game computers. So but I'm really looking forward into this Amigo and also sharing it with my daughter. She's 6.5, so it's a fantastic time to enjoy this with the family. And
you really you bring up a great point, right? Which is that a lot of people, right now in the United States alone, there's 21 million households that have children between the ages of 2 and 7. We have never seen this in the history of the entire planet Earth. This many households with young kids. In Europe, there's another 21 million. And then when you add in Canada and Mexico, so you add in just all of North America and all of Europe, there's about 65 million households, not people, households that have kids between the ages of 2 and 7. And these parents are walking into the GameStops, walking into the video game sections of Walmart saying, hey, do you have anything for my 5-year-old? And GameStop's got to turn them away. They're like, not really. Because what happened is when mobile came in, all of the edutainment software for young kids that you used to buy on a PC, or you could, remember THQ existed that was doing all the Nickelodeon stuff. EA Kids, Disney had a division, all the Take-Two, all these big video game publishers had kids divisions that they would work on stuff. They all went away because everything moved over to mobile, right? So now there's nothing to buy them in stores. But then the other thing is that all of the casual gaming, the hyper casual, all the non-gaming games, the gaming, all moved over to mobile. But what's the biggest problem with mobile? Well, I can give you a couple reasons. One, it's kind of not a great controller. It's okay if you want to tap and put a ball in a hole, but really try to play Pac-Man on this. Up, down, left, right, you're screwed. It sucks. The next thing is zero curation. So there's 1,000 new video games that come out every single week. 98% of them are garbage. You can't find anything. The third thing is it's a total money suck, right? If you don't give them your credit card or your email address or your friends list on Facebook, then you're going to get a 30-second ad every 3 minutes, whether you like it or not. But the worst part about this, and this is the big thing, that all edutainment, think about this, every edutainment piece of software for young kids, every casual game and hyper-casual game for non-gamers, it's all solitary. It's all solitary. Casual games that we enjoyed growing up, our moms and dads, our friends, our people would come over. We didn't have the internet. People got together. We played together. We had those moments. I guarantee every single person who's listening to this now and all you guys, I guarantee if you think back to what your greatest video game memory was in your life, I guarantee it was with a room full of your friends all playing a game, right? Maybe it was, maybe it was Bomberman on the N64 or GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
Right? How about those epic GoldenEye nights that everyone had, tournaments, and oh my God, slap only. And so like all of that's gone away, that kind of community gaming. So that's what we're trying to recapture, is to bring back. Look, you can't play online games on our system because multiplayer gaming in the 21st century means a kid in a dark room with his headphones on. That's what multiplayer gaming has become. We want to bring back all of the stuff that we grew up on, that passion, that communication. Technology has been splitting families apart, right? You hear people complain all the time. My kids are always on the phone. They're all on the screen time. You know what the number one concern of young parents is in the 21st century? Too much alone screen time for their kids. That's the number one concern for young parents. And what we're doing is we're saying, let's bring everyone together. Hey, mom, you can now play games with your kid. You don't have to just send them off in a corner as this becomes the babysitter and now you feel guilty. Let's bring everyone together. Hey, Grandpa, remember when you used to play Wii Bowling with us? Now let's play this again. They got shuffleboard now. They have bowling. They have darts. They have pool. They have cornhole. They have, bocce, all that stuff. They have card games. We have board games. We have classic arcade games, if you remember all those from growing up. So we really are doing something special here. And it's super unique that I feel there's just this big gaping hole in the video game industry that's ready to be filled.
Well, I tell you what, Tommy, not to interrupt you, but when I first saw pictures of the Amico and I saw the system, the first thing that stood out to me were the controllers.
Right.
And I thought back when I had my old Intellivision, when you had the inserts that you slid in, and to find out that this is touchscreen, that you've still got the omnidirectional discs and you got the force feedback and everything you've told us so far, I was really excited because I thought, man, this is like new but old. It's like familiar but new. And I think that the design of this Amico and everything is like perfect.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with where you're going with this. And being able to bring people together and family members being able to play, I'm going to buy this thing as soon as it comes out.
All right.
So to show everybody, too, for those who haven't seen it before now, I went looking in my parents' house. I couldn't find my original, but I had the Intellivision, too. For those who don't remember or have never seen the Intellivision controller, this is what it was. So you have a number pad.
To be fair, the Intellivision 2 sucked.
Actually, I'll be honest.
The buttons were super stiff.
Yes, they are. They're super stiff, but they were
not the keypad either.
Yeah, you could see, like, if I'm pressing in, you're right. But for those who didn't understand what that controller was, this was you have a 16 port directional D-pad at the bottom, and then you have these, and you had So,
by the way, the first D-pad ever.
Correct.
The first directional pad ever was your
wow. Yeah.
79.
So,
it was all joysticks and spinners before then.
And so you took these little things and you shoved it down. Yep, you shoved it down into the controller and you hope it fit. And then that is how it had commands on there. So in Astro Smash, you have a hyperspace, which you definitely need during the game, and an auto fire. So you can, and a pause, which you also definitely needed. So that is what those were. So tell us, so I want to know about the cool, and I'm going to bring the video up. I know there won't be a lot of talking in it, but I do have the LCD video.
Put up our controller video. It's one of the Amicos, one of the last ones we did last month. There it is.
Oh, so, I was prepared for you, brother.
Yeah, you're on it, my friend.
I was prepared.
And spark that up, and I can kind of talk as it because the amazing thing is the controllers. So instead of 16 directions, now keep in mind that most controllers, a D-pad only has 8 positions because it's up, down, left, right, and the diagonals. So every D-pad you've ever played on the Super Nintendo, the Genesis, or whatever, like the modern controllers, ours has 64 positions, and it also has it's all pressure sensitive. So the harder you push down, the faster you'll go or whatever. And so the great thing about the disc, though, is that and we've done a lot of focus testing, and it's funny because, some of the hardcore gamers, the haters out there will be like, what the hell is that? This stupid, because they look at the controller and they're thinking to themselves, how the crap am I going to play Call of Duty and Fortnite on that, right? And the answer to you is, you're not.
This is not your console.
Well, but it is. They just don't know it yet. And I understand. I understand the hesitation. People are so used to their gaming bubbles, and if you're a PlayStation or an Xbox fan, you pretty much have had the same controller. And let's say you're like 30 years old, you've pretty much had the same controller your entire life, right? So to try to look at something like this and go, what the hell are they thinking? But what people don't realize yet is that the way we're creating the games are created with the controller in mind. This is very important. All of the games that we are creating for this system, because every game is exclusive on Amico, every one of them, not a single one could be played on a Switch. Not a single one could be played on a mobile device. Not a single one could be played on the PlayStation and the Xbox. Not because we have some secret thing, or some special chip or anything like that, or hardware. It's because of the way the games are designed. When you have a color touchscreen, and let's say every single one of us on this chat right now, because there's less than 8 people, we could all play a game together, and we would all have our own screen, and there's a big main screen in front of us. Do you know just that alone? Think of how that opens up so many game design elements that no one has ever been able to do in gaming, just that alone. But when we do our focus testing and we put on a table, here's an Xbox joystick, gamepad, here's a PlayStation controller, here's a Switch controller, and here's the Amico controller, and we don't tell them what anything is. We just put 4 controllers on the table, and these are non-gamers, and we say, go up and pick the controller that you would like to play on. And 100% of the time, non-gamers will pick our controller. Every time, without fail. Because they look at it, and it's something that's simple. There's not analog sticks and strafing buttons. I mean, it kind of cracks me up. And again, I'm a PlayStation fanboy. I love my Xbox. I have a Switch. I love the Switch and everything. So, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to, disparage any of these amazing, epic, incredible companies at all. What I'm saying is we're very different from them. They're not really our competition, really, the way we're looking at. You know who our competition is? Board games. That's who we feel our competition. You know, the board game industry, every year for the last years has gone up 40%. That industry, every year for the last 5 years. Why is that? Because non-gamers and families, they can't play video games anymore. Now, people are going to argue and say, what are you talking about, Tommy? There's couch co-op. I go over to my friend's house all the time and we play Smash Brothers. Really? Is your mom playing Smash Brothers with you? You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, how many Switches do you have when you're playing Smash Brothers? Yeah, me and my 6 friends get together. Okay, so you have
on the
6
rooftop,
Switches.
The rooftop party.
$300. So $1,800 play a couch co-op, and so, but let me I'll really quickly go through because we got the controller up on screen. So 64 position, I talked about that. We have 4 buttons, but really you kind of only use 2 at a time. It's just that if we have them on each side, if you're a lefty or righty, color touch screen, accelerometer, and a gyroscope. So all that Wii stuff, and you can use gyroscope, but we're using it in such cool ways. If you look on our YouTube channel, Intellivision's YouTube channel, we put a Breakout video up there, our version of Breakout.
I have that video, by the way. We'll show it.
We'll put that up in a bit. But when you hit the thing, and then you can go like this, and it curves the ball. It's so freaking cool, right? We've never seen this. So. Accelerometer, color touchscreen. It has wireless charging. See at the bottom there on the right? That's a 3-pin thing. That fits right. Do I have one? It fits. It fits.
Come on.
I do. Hold on a second.
I might have to bring him up to the big screen. Oh my goodness.
Now. This. Okay. Wait, this is the new one. Okay, this is actually.
I'm bringing you up. Here.
That's exclusive. Because we've been redesigning the machine a bunch of times, right? Just little things, a little vent here, a little thing here. Let's take that light strip and move it up, and then blah blah blah, and this and that. But this is actually this is all completely white, so this isn't a painted one or anything up. But this is the. Oh, let me get it so you can. So this is the system.
Oh, there it is.
Nice.
Nice.
See the light and stuff and the way it works. I'll show you around the back. No one's ever seen this before.
That's awesome.
HDMI, USBs, SD slots, so you. What the hell is that? Oh, that's the.
All right, well,
eject.
And stuff. But what I was saying about the controllers is that see the controllers, they fit, boom, they fit right in, and they charge. They charged instantly.
Right on top. I think that's brilliant.
They charge on top. So this is what we were showing in the video just now. So not only do you have the disc, you also have a speaker and a microphone, right? Gyroscope accelerometer, force feedback, color touchscreen, wireless charging, and there's even RFID built into the entire system. Wow. So what that means, I can take my controller, I can go over any of your houses that has an Amico. I tap it on the Amico, on your Amico. Now we can play all of my games on your system.
Oh, no, stop. What?
Oh, wow. Nice.
It's pretty and we still have a lot of stuff that we're announcing at E3 that will make that what I just said. It makes it even 100 times better. But we have to save some stuff for E3. But there's a way of sharing stuff that is going to be revolutionary in the gaming industry. No one's ever done it before. Because see, you got to remember that the most companies don't want you to share. they want to charge you 80, $100. Try to like, connect a couple switches together and you have the same game. It's like sometimes it's a nightmare, right?
All right.
And but we encourage sharing.
I got to ask you the hard question then. How in the hell is this thing going to be $200?
It's not.
Okay.
It's 179, isn't it?
Oh, okay, all right. What?
So it's going to be a little more than $200.
Okay.
We're trying to keep it as low as possible. But yeah, originally we were like, okay, we're going to make this for, we're going to try to get it between 150 and 179. Well,
right.
We did a lot of market research, and people were like, oh, it's $150. I guess it's not good then. Like that, it's like, no, it is good. But so that was one thing. But really, the reality is that we started, and because that was 2 years ago when we kind of announced that pricing. And then, but what we did is we're like, oh my gosh, there's so much cooler thing. Like the touch screen itself, like instead of a resistive touch screen, we went with the capacitive, which is the glass, the stuff that you're used to on your mobile device. And we're like, oh gosh, it's going to cost, $5 more per console. And should we, and then, well, let's do a test. And then it's just like silky, smooth, perfect. It's like, oh my God, we have to put this in. And then it's like the other thing. It's like, oh my God, we have to put this in. It's like, oh, can you do that? Oh my God, we can't not put this in. And so the quality of the machine keeps going higher and higher and higher. And so now we're making the tough decisions to like, oh gosh, should we cut out this really cool thing, A, B, and C, to keep it at 199? Or is it okay if we go to 225 or whatever, but you're going to have this much more stuff? And we're like, my gosh, let's go for it. Let's put out the greatest machine that we can for what we're doing, and so that's kind of the game plan for what we do. So yes, the price is the price is sneaking up there, but it's not going to be $249. It's not going to be nothing like that. So we're keeping it in the around the 200s. That's
okay.
Where we're.
All right.
Nice.
All right.
Tommy,
Hey,
I've got a. Oh.
But keep in mind, all the games are $9.99 or less too.
Mm-hmm.
I had a question, awesome. Tommy, in the chat. There's been a lot of questions come up, and it's been burning me. It's a question. Where did you come up with the name Amico?
Yeah, Crazy Juan also wanted to ask that. So
yeah, so Amico is the Italian word for friend.
Right.
Oh. Awesome.
That's where it comes from.
Awesome.
All right. I am going to try to get to
question.
Go ahead. Go
about the controller. Like, how long is a battery life on that? How to charge?
About 6 minutes. No.
Okay.
No,
So that means that's why there's an app on your phone, so you can go. So now there's an app on the phone, right? So you can play on your phone while it's charging.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So here, I'll show you the app. It's actually pretty cool. I don't know if we've ever shown this to anyone. So,
God damn it! I'm gonna have to put you up here again. Hold on.
Yeah.
There it is.
So this is an older version of the app, but you can search it, like it says searching for Amico. So anyway, but yeah, you can see the disc. The disc is let me get it closer. So the disc actually, you can see it spinning around a little, as you whoop, whoop. So the disc is on screen, it lights up, the buttons light up. But again, there's something about this major that we're releasing at E3 that again, It's a changer. It's going to blow people away. We're patent pending on the stuff that we're doing, but it's going to blow people away.
Right.
But
maybe if we get a beer or two in you before the end of the show, you might help us out.
Drink, so you're screwed on that.
Hey, good man.
But that's the thing. The battery. There's another perfect example, right? It's like, oh gosh, we can put this battery in that would only give it 4 hours charge. And, maybe that's okay because really, the style of games that we're doing, It's not like, again, it's not like a PlayStation. We're not playing Call of Duty. These are like fun games. Hey, everybody get together and let's play bowling. Let's play this. Let's play that. We're going to play for a half hour or an hour. Again, like a board game. Like you think of a board game, 1 hour, 2 hours. People aren't going to play, And so for us, we're like, you know what? Let's go big. Let's spend another $1 per controller or whatever, 50 cents per controller, and let's get that 6-hour battery in there, right? So to answer your question, yeah, you're talking about, our testing so far is like about 5 to 6 hours, sometimes up to 7 hours, depending on how much the lights are going off and the force feedback and the screen and how much you're touching the screen and how much, there's a lot of things that factor into that. But it's crazy at the office. We have these battery testing machines because we have all bunch of different types of batteries and we're trying to pick the right one. And so what you have to do is you hook up all the batteries in this machine. All it does is charge up a battery and then uncharge it and then recharge it and uncharge it like 1,000 times a week. Right? So that because we want to see what the quality is. And then it says, it's still like at 95% capacity after like 3 months of charging, or 6 months of usage. And so you have to and we have folks, all they do in the company is focus, on that once in a while. So yeah, there's so many little things and little logistics. It's crazy.
Nice. Yeah. And I love the fact that, it comes with 2 controllers, but then you make it available to where we can use our phones to also play. So that factors in. The family can come together and jump in and have fun together.
That's right. And my 2 biggest goals for our consumers, and I tell this to everyone in my company all the time, our 2 biggest factors when it comes to consumers. I want them to feel trust and value. Those are the 2 biggest things. And that's why we curate all the titles. It's not an open system. And I got news for you. If there's a game that's at a 5 or a 6 on a scale to 1 to 10, I'm not going to put it out, right? We'll either put the resources and money to try to get it up to a 7 or whatever, what we feel is a 7, our internal scale. We're either going to try to put that money in or I'll kill the project. I don't care. I'm not going to break that trust with the consumer. And that's why we have E for everyone, E plus 10. Parents aren't going to have to worry about violence and blood and gore and sexual content, because the reality is that the Nintendo Switch has more blood and gore and violence and rape and killing and murder and drug paraphernalia than any other system. That's a fact. They allow stuff on their system that Sony and Microsoft don't allow. And again, I'm not trying to bag on Nintendo. I'm just spitting out facts, right? And so a lot of parents don't understand that because when you think of Nintendo, you're like, oh, I'm going to buy a Nintendo Switch for my kid and I'm just going to let him go. I mean, that's really that's kind of a bad thing to do. You need to set those parental controls. And you ever try to set the parental controls on the Switch? Let's just say it's not the easiest thing in the world. It's a little complex for a non-gaming parent to do. And so we're going to build trust with our consumers. They can trust us that we'll never put bad content on the machine. They can trust us that the games that we put on there are going to be good, right? And the value comes in when you think about it. A family of 4, let's say in middle America or anywhere in Europe, a family of 4, they take their kids to father takes their kids to the movies, right? Or mom takes the kids to the movies. They're spending what, $10-15 on the tickets. Maybe they get some popcorn, soda. You're spending at least $60 to $80 for a 2-hour movie, and you're sitting in the dark, not communicating with each other, right? That's what that's what a family does, and that's like family outing. If we can show 10 hours of entertainment for $5.99 or $7.99, and everybody's communicating and having fun and blah, 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 that's where the value proposition comes in, right? That's where we say, wow, you know what? and they trust our games. It's like, you know, think of all the impulse buys or people like, gosh, you know, that Intellivision bowling and Intellivision cornhole and Intellivision pool was so much fun. You know what? Grandpa's coming over. Let's get the shuffleboard game. He likes shuffleboard. We know it's going to be good. It's an easy price. We're not spending $80. Like when I got my Oculus Quest, one of the things I noticed really quick, and this is with any VR, and I think a lot of folks would agree with me, is that you buy these games for like $19, $29, and you're like, that was it? Like your trust factor like goes out the door really quick, and you never feel like you get value for what you is like, what the hell? Like I feel ripped off here. And so that's something that that we're just totally value and trust, the two most important things to us.
Well, the simplicity of it, Tommy, that's the one thing that really draws me into the system. When I was younger, when I was like 8 or 9 years old, and my mom, she liked the Atari 2600. You know, you had the joystick and one red button. And like 3 of her favorite games were like River Raid, Pac-Man, and Pitfall. And she would play for hours. And I know some people are out there and they're like, well, I don't want to play with my mom or dad, but that's not true, because there are a lot of parents, there are a lot of older people that would love to spend time with their kids. And now with this Amico system, just like the Atari and the joystick and the one button, I think that's going to enable them to do that.
So our 4 pillars of our company are simple, affordable, family, and entertainment. And those 4 words spell out safe. Simple, affordable, family, entertainment. And that you nailed it. Those are the most important pillars for us. Is it simple? Is it affordable? Is it for the family? And is it enjoyable entertainment? So yeah, you nailed it. That's the thing. That's the big factor here is, can you play video games with people of all different skill levels? Right? That's a big factor. That's why Grandpa isn't playing Fortnite, right? That's why, you know, that's why Grandma ain't playing Call of Duty. There's some grandmas out there, actually. I've seen them on YouTube. They're freaking awesome. They're like, Skyrim Grandma, you go, girl. But it's not the typical thing, right? And so if we can bring people together who normally don't play video games, if a mom can play a game legitimately and beat her 17-year-old hardcore gamer son, what a glorious thing that is, right?
Tommy, this is kind of a joke, but if the games are going to cost, let's say, between $3 and $8, does that mean we can get skins for like 20 cents?
No. Loot boxes. There's no in-app purchases. There's no in-app advertising. There's no, any of that stuff.
Let me tell you.
It's yours, and you don't have to worry about any of that crap.
Awesome.
So I want to say something, because a lot of people might think, oh, come on, except for the Wii, nobody ever, no moms and stuff like that ever played games.
There's the stat right on the video.
Yep. My mother.
200 million hardcore gamers, but 3 billion people play casual games every day.
Exactly.
My mother, when I was younger, on our ColecoVision,
I love it,
flipped the score on Ladybug, and we sent it to Coleco. She used to play Ladybug and Mousetrap and stuff like that, and I mean there are those. All right, let me.
Is your mom still alive?
Yes.
Okay. And when's the last time you played a video game with your mom?
Since that time. That was a long time ago.
So 30 years ago?
In the 80s.
What if I could promise you that you and your mom, and if you have kids, are going to play video games once again?
I have 3 boys.
That is my promise to you.
Well, I have 3 boys, and something you said earlier was something else that was absolutely so dead on. Mm-hmm. The problem that I have is that, and a lot of it is because my wife and I, we work a lot. It's tough. Yeah. But you are absolutely right about, their focus, their entertainment is sitting there on their iPads.
Yeah.
And just, my middle child has a mild high functioning autism. Mm-hmm. So he focuses on that, and he'll take his blanket and just cover himself up, and he's away from the world. And it's hard for me because
heartbreaking.
And so, to get games that they could play, even they can play together. That's not. He's sitting on his iPad, and and I hate to bring up the R word, but that's the one that they play the most. But one's over here.
Oh, you're talking about Roblox?
Yes. One's over here. And sorry, but
hey, look, let's bring up Roblox, and then I'd love to take some questions because I see the question.
I'm getting them. I'm copying them. So
great, good. So everyone who's asking questions in the thing, we'll get to them now. But no, let me just say about Roblox. I have nothing against Roblox. I look, they have built this amazing community. I mean, there's over 110 million or whatever it is, 100 million active users. This is an amazing thing, and they didn't, maliciously take a sound from me, and it's not that at all. People online have been blowing this up like crazy, and oh my God, I'm going to sue Roblox, and then Roblox is going to go out of business, and I hate you. Like you can't imagine the amount of vitriol I get. Go on my.
No, I see it.
Like so, these, and I get it. It's a younger crowd, and they think that I'm going to take away their favorite game ever. And see, what I like about that is that look at the passion that these kids have for this game. The community and the Roblox community is actually, there's been overwhelming support as well. So I don't want to paint them like, oh, it's just a bunch of negative kids. It isn't. It really is not. There's so many great positive people who I've met through this community that have, given support and stuff like that. So, but for even the haters out there, it just shows you how cool it is that a video game is bringing people together, and they're so passionate about it that they're willing to lose their freaking minds on me. And so, I mean, I look at it as a positive thing. And the thing is, like I said, I want to give props to Roblox. Because they've built this amazing community, this amazing game, and we're going to work it out. We're going to work it out. I say something on Twitter, they say something on their thing, and and it's just all kind of theater.
Of course.
Reality is that they want to work something out with me. I want to work something out with them, and you're going to see within the next couple weeks or whatever. We're going to come together, and we're going to be the best of friends, and everything's going to be great. So for all the Roblox players out there, don't worry. Neither of us, Roblox or myself, neither of us want this to go to court. Neither of us do. We're just, you just have to work together, come to the middle, and a great negotiation is when both parties walk away feeling like, okay, that all makes sense. And so that's where we're at, and we're going to work it out, and it's going to be great. And we're talking, and they're, like I said, a great company, and they've always, and they didn't do anything to me on purpose. It was a mistake. They never intentionally did something. How can I be mad at a company that didn't intentionally, you know what I mean? Like it's not.
At least they have good taste in sound.
Here's the funny thing, guys. All of the amazing things that I've done in my career, Earthworm Jim, Disney's Aladdin, the Sonic franchise, Guitar Hero, the original Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Metroid Prime with Miyamoto, Twisted Metal, Mortal Kombat, Blitz Football, all these amazing things in my life. On Advent Rising, I wrote a half-hour Italian opera, spent 3 years of my life recording hundreds of musicians, video games live. I've toured all over the world, the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest running symphony tour ever, 520 performances around the world, spanning the globe, doing all this shit.
Except for Baltimore.
And I'm going to all that shit I did.
Never came to Baltimore, Tommy.
20 years ago, and I didn't even know it was being used. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to be known as the oof guy now. No, that sucks.
Tommy.
No, I mean, and you know, before we get to I said this before we got started. One of the reasons that I'm that the honor of having you here with us, like, is a little more than just what you're doing with the Amico. Is, you know, I'm like these guys where, you know, I'm in my 40s, so
yeah,
you know, I was
Boomer.
Yeah, I
Okay,
know. I was a Sega guy, and so I had Cool Spot, and I had, you know, those games and stuff, and then I got a Sega CD, and
Okay.
I remember the first time I played the Terminator. The game itself, not the greatest game I've ever played.
It was okay. It was all right.
But
Greatest.
that soundtrack,
Thank you.
and that is where I got my first inkling of who you were. You are, and I said, so we had because I showed it to you last month. We had Ed Annunziata on.
Ed's the best. Yeah,
and Ed was the one who said, "I'll help you get Tommy." So if he talked to you, that's great.
He sure did. And did Ed talk about Amico at all?
Yes, a little bit.
Good.
And
Okay,
a little bit
because he's involved.
I know.
Oh, you know. Okay.
Oh yeah, but
You saw that last screenshot in my games. Yeah, that looked familiar, didn't it? I can neither confirm nor deny if that's the next exclusive Echo the Dolphin game with the original team. I cannot confirm or deny that. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway.
But he didn't deny it.
He did. And I say this with all seriousness, because I told Ed this, and I mean this. This is not bullshit because you're here, but there are two people whose music have really shaped my love of gaming soundtracks. Mm-hmm. One is you, the other is Spencer Nilsson.
Spencer Nilsson. I was going to say, if you're talking about Ed, it's probably Spencer.
Well,
great friend of mine, super talented dude. Of course, Echo Dolphin. See, you know, he got some flack back in the day because he did the Sonic on the Sega CD, did the CD version, and
which was awesome.
Japanese music, and mad at him. Screw that. I liked his. You know, I liked his as much. It was awesome.
Sonic Boom. Two songs really stand out to me that are kind of those songs that have vocals and stuff. One is Sonic Boom, and the other is Swing Time from the Spider-Man.
That's right, and he worked with the lead singer of Extreme, right? So yeah, no, Spencer's great, love him to death. Now, I'm gonna go crazy here for a second. Let's go to Dreamland here for a second. Wouldn't it be amazing? I mean, wouldn't it be amazing? What if Spencer Nilsson and Tommy Tallarico were to get together and do a soundtrack for a new Echo game?
That's it. I'm done.
That'd be kind of fun.
I need a cigarette.
That would be awesome if that were to happen.
Change your pants, Mike.
I need a cigarette.
Or deny. But I'm just saying that if that were to happen, that would be pretty cool. That's all I'm saying.
Mike's over there shaking. Look, he's sweating.
I need a cigarette. No, but I mean, no, it all. But you know, I still have my Earthworm Jim Special Edition. I still have. I still have Spot Goes to Hollywood. I still have.
By the way, guys, did you guys get the Earthworm Jim graphic novel that Doug TeNapel just did?
No, but I heard about it.
Oh my God. It's going to sound like I'm plugging Doug or would plug in my friend or whatever. I'm a huge comic book collector. For people who know, like I have a whole Spider-Man room in my house. It's kind of sick and pathetic, but I'm a huge comic book collector, and I say this with all confidence. It is the greatest graphic novel. The quality of it, it's the greatest I've ever seen. The quality, it's like it's embossed, it's UV spotted, it has foil everywhere, like it's unbelievable. Anyway, and it just came out last week, and you can still get them too, but they're going fist. But anyway, yeah. So Terminator Sega CD was an interesting one, though. That was the very first time a live guitar was ever recorded for a video game. And I'll give you another cool thing. The programmer of that, his name was Silas Warner. He's the guy who created Wolfenstein.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't know that. Wow. That's, man.
How about you want to take some questions for the people? I feel bad for the people.
I know. I'll tell you what. This chat room is one of the hottest chat rooms we've ever had. I mean, this is to you guys that are in there, and you see the questions and you see the folks talking on the left. I have to take a second to tell you guys, especially those of you who are new to our show that have not seen us before, thank you so much for coming in tonight. I know a lot of you came in to see Tommy. Hope hit that like and subscribe button. We love having great gaming talk in our chat room. It's one of the things that we cherish a lot. Of the people that come in and chat with us and interact with us are real gamers who just love to talk about stuff like this. So
I see Smash JT. I just saw
your man John from the video. John Alvarez is in there too.
John Alvarez in here. I saw him.
Yeah, he saw that. I was like, wow.
Senior
okay.
Hammer. Yes.
Let's get to some questions. Screw Marks wanted to know: do you have box art template for Amico games yet?
Kinda.
All right, so he says like PS4 and Vita with the blue bar at top, Xbox with the green bar. Do you have something, and does it kind of say, is it Amico specific?
It's a good question. It will be it's something that's super cool. Our physical media is like nothing people will ever consider and think about. And I'll just say it's not all the same. So, but some of it is, and we're going to have some continuity. But don't think of our physical media as just like boxes on a shelf.
Okay. He also wanted to know if there were going to be stuff like limited run games.
Yeah. Well, it would, not through limited run games, but yes, each one of our major retail partners will have exclusives.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there will be physical as well as
there's physical media, and there'll be exclusives all over the place. Whether it's GameStop might have a certain exclusive, Walmart will have another one, Amazon will have another one, Costco, Best Buy, whatever.
All right, let me back up a second because I do need to know this.
Okay.
Are you guys really working on a Magic games?
Oh yeah. Oh, we got them up and running. It's unbelievable. I mean, I Magic. There you go. There's Atlantis, Microsurgeon, Beauty and the Beast, Demon Attack. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. Let me see. We're currently working on. Let me see. We have 2 of them up and running right now.
Yeah, I love Demon Attack. Demon Attack was so great.
Yeah, well, that was one of the favorites. That's on our to-do list. We don't have that one up and running yet. It probably won't be on launch, but that'll be like the next round. After we focus on that one's like right at the top of our tier 2 list. Yeah.
Tommy, just to interrupt real quick, what are you going to do as far as like memory or storage or save files? Do you have?
Yeah, it's great.
I was trying to get an idea of like internal storage, or will they be memory card type devices, or what did you envision for the system?
Yeah, so each of the controllers, they have their own memory. their own chip, their own, they're their own thing. This is basically a mobile device without the 4G, and so these have their own memory and stuff. But I think what you're referring to is the console itself. And so, I think we've announced this on our, maybe not, I don't know, this might be an exclusive, but no, we have 16 gig internal. And so, and that'll probably store about 40 to 50 games.
Wow.
Damn.
And nice. But you also have the SD card slot in the back. So you want to add your gig and get 1,000 more games, it's on you.
So then how does that translate into your controller being able to go to another person's Intellivision?
That's what the RFID is, radio frequency identification. So when I buy a game on my console, see, these controllers are always married to my base console, right? And so when I buy a game, it puts the key on the controller. The game isn't in here, but the key that I've purchased it is on here. So when I go over your house and I tap it on the machine, it says, oh, this is Tommy Tallarico's controller, and these are the 60 games he owns. And I say to you, hey, do you want to play Moon Patrol? You're like, oh, I don't have Moon Patrol. Oh, check it out. Bing, boom, downloads it on your machine. Now we're playing Moon Patrol together.
Nice.
Okay, so you'll have an online store for...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you can play the machine without being online. The system is going to come with 5 full high quality games. And I know, because I've heard you say it a couple times during this thing, one of the games you said is actually one of our pack-ins.
Stop.
And it's going to be epic, and it's going to be
oh my God.
So I tell you which one it is, but
I think it's awesome that she has some
Echo won't be on 21.
I'm so glad that you do some packing games, because nowadays it's like, a new system comes out, you get absolutely nothing.
Yeah, you can consider this. You can buy an Amico for around $220, whatever. You can buy an Amico, take it out of the wrapping, plug it in, plug in the HDMI, no internet, no Wi-Fi, nothing, and you can have 8 people playing 5 different amazing epic games. Some use motion controls, some don't. Some are super simple that everybody enjoys. Some are more, one of them's like more of a Twitch kind of thing. So there's something for everybody, even in the 5 pack-ins, but we've made sure that within those 5 pack-ins, it's something that everybody in the family will enjoy, except maybe one of them. One of them's more of a hardcore thing. Well, no, my mom used to play it back in the day. I don't know. But yeah, for the most part, it's going to be all family-friendly stuff that people are going to love. And you don't even have to hook it up to the internet if you don't want.
How is it not October yet?
Not now.
It
gets released 3 days before my birthday. Fantastic.
Yeah. There you go. It's going to be a great birthday for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I do also want to ask, and we'll get to some more questions here, but I do want to ask about things like pre-orders, and when will you have more information about that Founders Edition that I'm going to pre-order?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So now, again, remember what I said earlier. My 2 biggest things are... what the hell did I say? No, trust and value, right?
And
so
verify.
that, so with the pre-order, we were getting tons of people, tons of our hardcore fans, right? Because we haven't spent any money on advertising yet. We haven't spent any money on marketing yet. That's not going to kick off till the end of this summer, right? And our marketing, our go-to-market strategy isn't to go after hardcore gamers. It's actually to advertise to moms, to advertise for, to dads who have kids and this kind of thing. That's who we're going for, right? And so, we'll literally be doing mobile ads. People are going to be playing like Candy Crush going, what's this Intellivision Amico thing? And so...
That's smart.
And yes, we're going to be doing mall tours, and we're going to be going on shows like Ellen and The Tonight Show and Oprah and all this stuff. So that's kind of where we're going. You know, we're sponsoring the Mom 2.0.
I just saw that.
Yeah, so Mom 2.0, that's where all the mom influencers on YouTube, where they all gather. We're the title sponsor of this thing. So we're going to be meeting thousands of moms, and I got news for you, and there's articles after articles about this. Those influencer moms love us, right? So that's super important. But let's get back to the Founders Edition. So like I said, the machines that are going to come out, the normal black and white machines, they're going to be around $225, let's say. And again, we don't have an exact price yet. We'll know in about a month what the exact price is going to be. But let's say, sake of argument, $225, $229, whatever. I don't know. Somewhere in that realm, right? That's going to be our standard machine. Now, we're going to have 4 limited edition machines. The vintage wood grain, which I know all you are going to get.
Yes.
That's the one I'm after.
That's the one I want.
GTO Red.
I did ask about that.
The GTO Red, which is this amazing, like Ferrari red with black carbon fiber. The Galaxy Purple, which is like this purple and blue, you know, when you like turn it in the sunlight, it like shines and everything. And then a 4th one we haven't announced yet, so I can't really say because it's an exclusive for one of our big retailers. But let's just say girls are going to love it. Okay. So we're doing 4 exclusive. Now those ones, those special limited edition ones that are going to be like, because we have the black and the white ones, but those limited edition ones, they're going to cost us a lot more to make. If you can imagine wood grain as opposed to just white plastic, right? And so those are probably going to be around the $279. You know, those can get as high as about $279 for those special limited edition versions. Okay, so what we're going to do with our Founders Edition, here's what you get. We're going to just do the vintage wood grain as the Founders Edition. I'm going to tell you guys something funny. At first, we were going to do 2020 of them, right? Oh, it's 2020. Let's do 2020, and that's it. Then somebody gave me an idea, and I'm like, oh, my God, it's so great. We have to do this. We're going to do 2,600 of them.
Nice.
So you're going to get 2,600.
Intellivision does what Atari doesn't.
Right. The only thing that would be funnier is if you could somehow digitally bring back George Plimpton.
Well, maybe we'll use his grandkids or something. Wouldn't that be something? So anyway, so 2,600, and that's it. Not going to do one more or 2 more. And then you turn it around, it's going to be signed and individually numbered. Okay. So that's the Founders Edition. Nobody else will have those except those 2,600 people. But wait, we're also going to do a 3D lenticular poster of the Running Man. So it's the animation of the Running Man. You turn the poster over, and everybody who made the Amico, the entire team, is going to sign the back of that. Only 2,600 of them, hand numbered. That's it. How about an Amico pin, a Founders Edition pin? How about, we got to go old school with this, how about an Amico Founders patch? How about that you get the console a couple days earlier than everybody else in the world? How about I give you a special metal golden ticket RFID card that you tap on the system, and it gives you a $50 gift certificate to get any games you want store? How about if you throw in a physical version of the Earthworm Jim soundtrack album?
Done.
And maybe
although to be fair, I did rip this to my PC, so I do have it. I got both of them.
But what if I told you all that? Now remember what I said. The normal vintage wood grain edition, when it comes out, is probably, and I don't have the exact number, but it's probably going to be about $279. I just rattled off a whole bunch of stuff. For the Founders Edition, it's going to be $299.
What?
And wait, all we're asking for is a $100 deposit, which is 100% refundable. So that's what, and when are we going to launch this?
So yeah, when?
About a week from now.
Oh, it's done, Tommy. This is like
Welcome
Fantasy
to
Island
the
with Ricardo Montalban.
I'm gonna go get blood.
Welcome to Next Level Gaming, folks. Welcome to the original Next Level Gaming.
Here's the thing. The people, the first 2,600, the only way you're going to know how to get it, you have to sign up to our mailing list. So if anyone out there listening to my voice, you got to go to IntellivisionAmico.com, sign up to our mailing list, and then we'll, a few days before, as we know the exact date, and I think I'll be releasing that on Monday morning. We're gonna figure out and we're gonna announce the exact date that it's coming out, because I don't know if it's next Friday or if it's the following Monday after that, but it's gonna be soon. It's gonna be within the next 10 days, and we'll be letting people know. But the people who are gonna have the first crack at it and I got news for you. We got about 60,000 people on our mailing list. So if you're interested in one of those 2,600, you got to move quick.
I'm on that list already.
Oh,
I'm on that list already. I was on that list. People think I'm bullshitting because you're here. I was on that list day one.
Awesome. Thanks.
Before I even knew you were involved in it, I was on that list. And by the way, since we got the people who are involved in here, you could deliver a message for me, even though we're following each other and we're friends. Tell Mike Micah he's got to stop ducking us and he's got to get on here.
Where's Mike Micah? Mike.
Yeah. What's he working on, by the way, since he won't come on and talk to us himself?
Can I tell you, so Mike Micah, for those of you who know Digital Eclipse or Other Oceans.
IDARB,
right? They just did the Disney's Aladdin and Lion King.
Yeah, fantastic.
Featured Earthworm Jim team on that thing. There's a whole behind the scenes. People should check it out.
Yeah.
So
okay.
He's one of the most passionate retro gamers. He's one of the most talented programmers, passionate, and he is working. I'm not supposed to say this. I don't care. I'm going to. You got me in a good mood tonight. They're working on 5 different games for us.
Wow.
Nice.
I gotta tell you, oh gosh, I can't say this, but they're working on 5 different games, and every one of them is absolutely spot on, AAA, epic. They're doing stuff that, like, other developers are going like, holy crap, how are they doing that? It's pretty awesome. That's all I can.
Cool.
Yeah, Mike's great. We'll get him on.
No, he really is, and we talk a lot. He just, he's busy too. I get that. You know that.
Yeah. So keep firing the questions.
Yep, all right. Joseph Sanchez wants to know, what game engines can you use to develop and make games on Amico?
Yeah, I mean, you can use anything. I would say about 90% of the games are being done on Unity in our system now.
Okay.
Mike Micah's games actually are not, because Mike Micah has this amazing epic game engine that he wrote himself from scratch in his team, which is amazing. You know, we have an 8-core processor, and he's just firing on all cylinders, getting everything out of those 8 cores. When you have an engine that talks directly to the metal, it can do things that, sometimes other engines can't. But I would say 90% are on Unity. So our operating system that we've created internally in-house, it's kind of a cross between Linux and Android based. And so it has all of the flexibility of Linux, but with the stability of Android. So we've kind of created this, thing that, and one of the reasons we decided to go this way is because it's so stable, and there's a million tools out there that people can already use, and so that becomes a huge thing for creating something like this.
So, and an honest question: will this thing run? Will it? So you'll be able to run, say, if somebody wants to make something in Unreal Engine.
No, it won't run in the Unreal Engine.
Okay,
no.
All right.
Because and I love all those guys. I mean, they're very dear friends of mine. Mark Rain, and I was just hanging out with Mark in North Carolina a couple months ago, and Tim and all those guys. Because remember, I worked on all the Unreal game, Unreal 2, Unreal Tournament. I did a lot of stuff with those guys. Cliffy B is a good friend, although he's not there now. But I know all the Epic guys, but the reality is that their engine really is focused more on 3D open worlds, that kind of vibe. And that's really what, we're not that, so although I love those guys and they're knocking it out of the park with everything they do, but we're not, the engine just doesn't run the way they have it set up. It's not a good fit for our thing. Yeah, we're more focused on, the 2D, the simple stuff, which Unity is great at.
Sure. Tommy, I had a question while you're answering these questions. As far as the console, is this just going to be mainly just focused on games, or are you going to have other apps like YouTube or Twitch, or is it going to be able to do any other type? This is just solid games.
It's a game machine. We don't want, one of the problems. And again, I'm not disparaging. I'm just spitting facts, and people can be pissed off if they want, but it's true. When I turn on the Xbox or the PlayStation, and you just get this again, for us, we're all gamers. We're navigating through okay, we get it. Okay, now I'm on YouTube. Now I'm on Netflix. Now I'm on Spotify, whatever. Again, you put that joystick in a non-gamer's hand, and it's just how do I play a game on this? You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're not. Look, you can stream Netflix on your freaking refrigerator these days. No lie, right? I was just in Best Buy, and I'm you can literally get Netflix on your video screen on your refrigerator. That's not what we are. We are a straight up game machine. We're taking a lot of sensibilities from the old days, right? All the great stuff from the 70s and 80s, all those old and early 90s, all those old school sensibilities. The Super Nintendo wasn't anything except a Super Nintendo, right?
Right.
And sometimes we get caught up in technology, and again, that's the beautiful thing. Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, they have their own things going on. And, Sony and Microsoft are battling for the super uber hardcore gamer. Switch has their whole deal going. PC games has their deal. Mobile, Apple Arcade, Google Play Store, they have all their own thing going on. And what people need to realize is that we have our own thing going on, which literally is completely different from all those things I mentioned. And for all the haters out there, what you're saying is, screw you, because you're trying to create a video game system that's different from everything else, and that's promoting people getting together to play games. So I want all the haters to think about that. What you say when you hate on this machine, something you've never played before, something you've never held in your hand, right? I want you to all think about that. So whether you hate my idea or our idea or not, why would you be so against somebody who's trying to, and a company that's trying to buck the trend of the same crap that we've been dealing with year after year? There's one of my favorite books out there is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, very good.
Yep.
You all know it, right? 42, Life, the Universe, Everything, all that stuff. One of my favorite lines ever is from the very first paragraph of the very first Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And I had the great I'll tell you a cool Douglas Adams story after this. because I met the guy, I hung out with the guy, and I have this epic story to tell. But one of my favorite lines from the book is in the first paragraph, and it kind of mirrors what I'm talking about right now. There's a line in there that says, you know, they're talking about the human race and how odd these people are, humans are. It's so odd that about 2,000 years ago, they nailed a guy to a tree because he went around saying how great it would be if we were all nice to each other. Right. That's the human race. That's what we are. Like, hey, everyone should be nice to each other. Let's kill that guy. And so that's how I feel like the haters out there are like, you know, it's like, you know, he wants to do a game machine that is going to bring people together and that's simple fun and that I can play with my mom and screw that guy. I hate him, you know, so it's just kind of funny. Here's my quick Douglas Adams story. So Douglas Adams, one of my favorite authors of all time, and I did a TV show for many years called The Electric Playground and Reviews on the Run. I did 2 TV shows. It was called Judgment Day here in America. And we're at E3, and Douglas Adams loved video games. And he just did a PC version. He wrote this thing called Starship Titanic. It's a PC game. It's great. It's funny. It's hilarious. We had the opportunity to interview Douglas Adams at E3. This is before he passed away because he's unfortunately not with us any longer. I'm a huge fan of this guy. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. I get my Hitchhiker's Guide. I have the leather-bound edition, which has all 5 books, including Mostly Harmless in there. I do the interview, and this is all on YouTube. You can check this out. And I'm reciting Vogon poetry to him. And we're reciting Vogon poetry to each other. He does a line, oh, Freddled Gruntbugly, their murturations are to thee, as Foonting Flapper watchets on a lurged bee. And he'd be like, group thy implore me, my Foonting Turling Dromes. Like, and it's like this play, and I'm quoting lines from the thing. So he knows, like, I've read the book and I've memorized all his dialogue. And so we do this really epic, awesome interview together. And then we're done. And what's great about this is I have the entire thing on film as well. It's on my YouTube channel. And I take out my book, and the cameras are still rolling. And this never made it to the TV show, but I have the footage that I put up there. And I take out my book. I go, Mr. Adams, obviously, as you can tell from the interview, I'm such a huge fan. You have no idea. I've been reading your book since I was, in the early 80s. Could you please sign my book? And hand to the Lord, and again, I got the video to prove it. He goes, on one condition. I said, okay. He pulls out his briefcase. He opens up his briefcase. He takes 2 of my soundtracks out of his things, and he goes, only if you'll sign my soundtracks, because I'm a big fan of your music as well. I teared up instantly. And you can see me on camera like going, what the fuck is going on?
Wow.
It's my Douglas Adams story. It was one of the best memories I have of E3. And to have it on film and to have that book still, and now he's passed away. And there will be something, if there's Hitchhikers fans out there, we're going to do something special for Douglas Adams and Hitchhikers. And we have a lot of Easter eggs in Amico all over the place. The whole thing is like an Easter egg. There's going to be so many Easter eggs that people like freaking hidden Mickeys at Disneyland. There's just going to be so many of them. We're just going to exploit them. So you can bet that there's going to be some ode to, Douglas Adams in there.
Tommy, Mike had something up on the screen just a minute.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Maybe I didn't hear that, but it said something about a reward or trophy system. Are you going to have that for the Amico?
Absolutely. Gosh, I'm trying to think if I can talk about this or not.
Shiva.
I saw Mike did a great job with his videos, and I saw it up there. I thought, that would be great to ask.
Here's what I'll say. So one of the annoying things to me about leaderboards and trophies is that you work really hard and you're like slaying it in this game. You're like, oh yeah, I'm like getting all this crap, and you're boom, 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 leaderboard. And it's like you just played your best game ever. And you're like, whew, that's about the best I'm going to do. Where did I land on the leaderboard? And you're like 1,495,862. You're like, this blows. I'm never going to, that really. And so I hate that. We've kind of taken all of that away. And I call it my time and space leaderboard system. And let that sink in. So there's times, days, months, weeks, months, years, all time. There's and space, meaning location. There's cities, there's states, there's countries, there's worldwide. So is there a way to break that all down? And
so
say,
everybody gets kind of a piece of the pie a little bit. Yeah.
Astro Smash, I'm the number one player in Orange County, California for the week of, and it's and it becomes a badge of honor. Right. And the other thing, and that then becomes your trophy, right? Nice. So because the other thing about trophies that I always kind of hate in modern video games, it's like, you've just killed 1,000 people in God of War. Here's your trophy. And you think to yourself, okay, it's kind of a badge of honor, but a million people have that exact same trophy, right? Right. What if the trophies that you get in Amico, you are the only one in the world who has it? Now, that is something you could brag about. And what if you could print out a certificate and put it up on your wall when you earn something that's super special like that? This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. We are going to
send it to your enemies and tell them, hey, you got to come over to my house and challenge me.
We're going to blow up the industry like no one's business. We're just all of the things that are like, this is what we're doing. So yeah, we're not sure. And that's the reason why I was hesitant to tell you guys. We're not sure if we're trying to have this on launch, but our main focus is everything else first. The console has to be done. The games have to be great. And all this kind of other stuff is kind of like frosting on the top. So, but if the console comes out and then that maybe gets incorporated in December or January of 2021, it's not the end of the world. I mean, this is very common in our industry, isn't it? Where you come out, like the Nintendo Switch or the Sony PlayStation stores, some of these things are added a year, 2 years down the road. So we don't want to wait that long, but we're hoping to get it in on launch. We're just not sure yet. We're still working on it.
Nice.
Okay. Hey, I wanted to really quick ask you before going to the next question from the chat room. There were a couple of other things that we see here in this video. So we have, of course, the Intellivision remakes. But what about
that's 3 years old, so there might be some different stuff.
All right, so considering that Atari is still attempting to bring out their own system, are they still working with you on their classics?
Oh yeah,
we have Breakout, right?
We have that screen that you just right there. That's all that we have 12 games, and every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can see 10 of them are right there.
So Yar's Revenge. That's my wife's favorite. Oh.
Yar's Revenge. We actually spell it right. For those of you who don't know, But and look, Asteroids has an S.
Yes.
So.
I mean, this is great because you're right. I mean, these are the games that you could just sit down.
And we saw Breakout. You were showing Breakout.
We were showing Breakout.
One of the 12. Yeah.
So, all right, let's see. GameZar he's been wanting to ask this. He actually asked it twice. Is there any update on the Tron licenses?
Yes. There's an update.
All right. What? All right. So what? Tell us what you can tell us.
Oh, okay. So.
Let me ask this: Is there a chance of us getting an update to Deadly Discs?
Absolutely, 100%.
All right.
I mean, there's a 100%.
Oh, there's a chance. There's a chance.
Yeah.
God.
Okay. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. Is that we're working with Disney now to make that happen.
Okay, good. So because
I don't have a signed contract, so I can't say, oh yeah, it's going to happen.
Sure.
We're hoping it's happen. They seem very open to it, and it's just working out stuff. But yeah, Disney loves what we're doing. Nickelodeon, Sesame Street, Hasbro, Mattel. These are all folks that are very interested in what we have to offer.
So how big is your development teams? I mean, are you developing everything in-house, or do you have, and you can say yes if you can't give specifics, but are there third parties that are coming in to make games at Amico?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. And in fact, on our 40th anniversary that happened on December 3rd, we listed, I think there was 25 of our developers, or 20 or 25 developers. Yeah, we have over.
Is it on the website?
It would be in the press release. Our press release is on the website. Yeah, if you go to IntellivisionAmico.com.
Oh, I'm there. I'm looking.
Now go to the press release section, and it's the last press release.
You might have to give me the secret code for the press part.
Well, go zoom all the way to the bottom of the site.
Got it.
You see press releases?
I'm getting there. Scroll. Yes, got it.
You hit press releases, and there's the one from December 3rd, the last one we did.
Oh, by the way, hold on. I gotta bring this picture in because there's another game that I spent a lot of time on. Let me get it saved here while we're talking. Skiing.
Yes.
A remake of the skiing game.
Have you seen it? Have you seen the thing I dropped? The screenshots?
Well, I see what's here. Hang on a second. I'm sorry, I'm a little.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's in the press release. Yeah. Put that up on the screen.
Yep. Hang on, I'll get there. And
that was out of the 5 games that is the pack-in. That was the first one that we announced. Is skiing. We've only announced one pack-in game, skiing.
Oh, nice.
So ski. Oh shit, that's in the game. That's the pack-in.
That's one of the pack-ins. One of the 5.
Oh wow.
So it's
You
so
gotta
awesome.
Stop.
I was just playing it early, right before I got on with you guys.
All right,
it's
hang on.
So
Here
fun.
we go. My goodness, I can't. It's hard to wait.
Yeah. To answer your question, we have about 50 developers all over the world, and we hand pick our developers. We literally get hundreds of people asking us to please develop for the machine, and we've picked 50 right now that we're focused on, and they're all doing absolutely amazing stuff. Every one of them's hand-picked. And that's the great thing about our closed ecosystem. We get to decide who makes games for our system.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Mike is a perfect example. You say, well, look, you guys know Mike Micah, you know his quality. That's the type of stuff, those are the type of people that we're having create games. There's 50 other Mike Micah type developers out there.
Nice. That's awesome. Hang on, I hit the wrong thing. I just replaced our logo with it. Sorry, getting a little turned around here.
Background, but I don't see an Intellivision there. What the?
Hang on. Here we go. All right, so that's what
I don't see an old Intellivision. I see a floppy disk. I see a CD-ROM. I see that's a PSP.
Oh, what do you? Oh, back there? Oh, yeah. Well, and my Dreamcast is back there too. No offense, but I got to give that's my other love. So if you ever, all right, here we go. Oh shit! I did my. All right, I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Yeah, shrink it a little bit, but
if I could actually do this without looking like a moron, hold on.
Yeah, it looks like it's stretching it.
Try this one more time. I want that, and I want that, and that's what I want. Here we go. And
those IT guys.
I know. Here we go.
There it is. Yeah, it's a little.
All right.
Yeah. So that shows you the old skiing, obviously on the right, 1980.
Yep.
And then the new skiing, really that bottom shot there, the one on the left, that's like what the game looks like. You know, that's
nice.
You're playing that. The thing on the top is that when you start the game, it kind of does a fly through of the level. And so that gives you a good idea. That top shot is an idea of, and again, to us, it's all like stylized, right? Those are very stylized graphics, you know? But the great thing is it's still easy to play. It's one button to jump and you have the disc and that's it. And you can hold, by the way, you can hold the controller for skiing. You can hold it any way you want. If you want to hold it up like this, like the original skiing, or if you want to hold it like this, if you're a lefty and you want to hold the thing like this and it goes down, or if you're this side and you want to hold it like this, however you want to hold this thing, you can. It just changes and knows automatically. And then, and the screen in the middle is one of our menu screens. So it's like, you know, when you join, it kind of has this, you know, ski pass that kind of like falls into place. It's really, really super cool. So you can see the kind of gloss, the professionalism, the artistic art style. All of our games are going to be like this. Again, this isn't Call of Duty. This isn't, you know, if you're expecting to see, you know, Red Dead 2 on this, which is a great game, that's not what this is. All the other machines can do that. But if you're looking for really fun, simple things, so skiing looks amazing, looks totally updated, but it's still simple and fun to play. And I'll tell you something else. Not only do we have up to 8 skiers, like the old Intellivision game only had 6. We bumped it to 8, so you can have 8 people, and you each go down one at a time. It's like, okay, but we also have, do you guys know what ski cross is? That Olympic sport, ski cross? Mm-hmm. It's 4 people. On your mark, get set, go. Who can get to the finish line first?
Oh, wow.
None of you seen it. Just go on YouTube and put in ski cross. It'll blow your freaking minds how cool it is. And so that's, you know, we put as a versus mode. We have multiple ways to play skiing with multiple people. And so it's going to be really cool.
This really is.
Nice.
So, all right.
I see a question up there. A-Ruff 51485. He says, have you scrapped any games yet that weren't passing the quality level you expect from the developers? The answer is yes. At E3, we had 22 playable games. We came out of E3 holding on to 17 of them. So 5 of them didn't make the cut to keep going. Yeah. So we're dedicated to this. We're not joking around.
Awesome.
Sniper Melon said, can you hold it upside down like this? Absolutely you can. In fact, here's an exclusive.
Oh, hold on. I got to get you back up there. Got to get you back up there.
I think
this is amazing.
I talk about this thing all day long, so it's like I might have told this to another.
I may not sleep tonight.
But here it is. So because you talked about, is it upside down and you can go this way and you can go this way, right? But like this, so you'll notice something if I go put this in here. So you see that, where is it? You see the hole there?
Yes.
See that? That's where the strap goes. So when you hold it for motion controls, you actually hold it upside down because we want your thumb on the disc or on the side buttons. And so, you know, you can bowl like this, or you can let go of the corn bag or whatever the hell they're called. So that's really cool. So you really do hold it every single which way. Again, remind me of a controller where you can hold it 4 different ways, right? I guess the Wii kind of had that.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. John Gomez said the app, will it be for Android and iOS?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, here's something that I haven't even put on Facebook or social media yet.
Another exclusive.
We just updated our Amico Club app today. So for those of you who don't know, if you go on your phone now and put in Amico Club, you can download the app. And if you point it at our logo, it does this AR thing, but you don't have to anymore. You could just start the app, and you can actually play about 20 seconds of our Moon Patrol game. We just put it right on the phone for you. Yeah, so you can kind of play it and see what it's like. And it's like 20 seconds, and people are freaking out going, oh, my God, that was so great. I played it 1,000 times. Give us more. And we are going to be offering more in February. We're going to do a whole level of that. But, yeah, download the Amico app. We just updated it today.
Amico Club, right?
Amico Club. Yeah, you'll see the Running Man logo. Yeah.
Yep, got it. I got it.
Yeah. And it's so cool. Oh, there it is. Somebody's got it.
I've got it, Tommy. Yeah, sorry, guys.
Down.
That's awesome.
Oh my goodness!
Right? Yeah. Now you're right about to play a freaking demo of Amico right there on your phone.
Oh, here we go. I've got tilt mode, Tommy, and I've got button mode. Oh, what to do.
Go button mode. Fool around with tilt mode later, but.
Oh, I messed around with tilt mode. Well, this is awesome. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That sounds good.
That sounds like Moon Patrol to me.
That's right.
Now, shoot. Yeah. Oh, look at that.
So how much?
Oh, this is so cool, guys. You can't see it good, but no, wait. It's awesome.
Yeah, I got it.
So, and that's just free. There you go, free, and you get a whole level pretty soon. But yeah, everyone download the Amico app and leave 5 stars. Damn it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's pretty much what that's a sample what the game's going to look like because
actually to be honest, the game is going to look a lot better than that.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's just a little. That's about, I'd probably say 70% done.
That's awesome, Tommy.
Wow.
That's badass.
Sean Caldwell. Yeah.
As audio question, will there be surround sound or Atmos capabilities? The answer to that is no. So we're just going to, again, because we're not in 3D worlds here, right? Now, so we don't need that 3D surround, and that's coming from the audio guy. But you do have a speaker on your controller, and it's going to be pretty cool the way we're utilizing that. So it'll have some kind of surround, but in a different way that you would normally think.
Oh, cool. So I'm assuming that the Tommy Tallarico Studios will have something to do with some of the sound and
wait, did you say something to do with some? How about everything to do with all?
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm personally, that's what I do on the weekends. I either play my video games live show somewhere in the world, like I'm going to be in the Middle East in a couple of weeks on the weekend, playing with the Doha in Qatar in the Middle East, playing with their National Symphony at the end of January 31st is that show. So some weekends I'm around the world playing my concert, but most weekends I'm doing sound design for all the games.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tommy, I'm still playing this demo, and I'm telling you, it's actually kind of challenging. I like this.
Right. Well, we'll go back to the reboot it and put the instead of the tilt mode, do the button because you speed up and slow down. It's a lot easier, I think. But
so you're still doing video games live even with all this going on. That's amazing.
Yeah, but I've cut way back. Like normally for the last 17 years, we do about 40 or 50 shows a year.
I saw your schedule.
Yeah, this year, like last year, I did. We did about half of that, and for half of those shows, I wasn't even at them. So, like for example, we did like 17 shows in China or something, and I just sent my team to China, right? And they just do the show, and I hire a translator, and I take all the guitar tunes out. But like this year, if you look on the list, now I am going to all the ones this year, but you'll only see 3 of them on the list. I do about once a month.
You gotta get to the East Coast, man. You gotta get over here to the East Coast.
Let me see. We're in Florida, and we're in Tacoma, Washington, and we're in the Middle East. So yeah, we'll do one on the East Coast for sure.
We got it. We got to get up. You got to get up in this Mid-Atlantic area. Right. If you could get into Baltimore, Washington, or even like,
we've played the Kennedy Center. We've sold out the Kennedy Center every time we've played it, and we play with the National Symphony Orchestra. It got so big that they moved us out of the Kennedy Center and they put us over a Wolf Trap, and then we sold out Wolf. 9,000 people a night were coming, and then we've played with the Baltimore Symphony. We've played with the Virginia Symphony. Oh yeah, we've been all up and down that joint.
All right, you gotta get back over here to Baltimore then, because I will come see you.
Videogameslive.com. We're actually launching our brand new website next week.
Awesome.
Our website now looks like something from 1998. I'm like, hey, if I hold on a couple more years, it'll be retro again. But no, we're doing a brand new website. It's coming next week. Videogameslive.com. It's really cool too.
Yes, Freak Show. Oh shit, you did see Snafu.
That's right. That's Snafu. But I gotta say, that was Snafu. Let me see. That footage was taken in June, right after E3. So that was 9 months ago. Snafu looks 100 times better now.
Yeah. Well, and if you didn't see the intro video, that Snafu footage was mine. So I play that. That was another game. I used to play the absolute crap out of hours on end.
Hum it with me. Dun, 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 no, I'm remixing that.
Oh yeah. So let's see. Born Distracted wanted to know: can you turn the force feedback off on the controller?
No.
Okay.
One other thing I want to say about Snafu: the original Snafu is SNAFU. And I think we all know what SNAFU stands for, right? It's a military term, systems normal, all effed up, right? And so family-friendly machine. So I actually changed the name. Well, no, sorry. I changed the spelling. In our console, Snafu is SNAFOO, Snafu.
Okay.
So, all right. So it's still there. It's just, I wanted to... I didn't want little kids going up to their mom saying, "What's Snafu?"
Right. Well, at least you didn't call it Fubar. Okay, next.
Same thing, pretty much.
Yeah, especially when you start getting into the diagonal levels. All right. S-Crow 321 wanted to know, what if I want to buy more than 2 controllers?
Yeah, so we sell controllers separately and in family packs. Yep.
All right. Nice. When does production start? Ruth 51485 wants to know.
April 1st. We go into manufacturing.
All right, like seriously?
Yeah, April. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I shouldn't say that. April 4th.
All right, there you go. No, April 1.
That's a good point. I should not say that because people will think I'm April Fool's. So I'll say towards the beginning of April. That's when we go into manufacturing. That's to get on the shelves for 10/10/2020.
Gotcha. All right. Chris G says you can't use Bohica either for the name of the game. So, all right. Walter Solviesk says, anything about any possibility of Zombies Ate My Neighbors?
I don't have that one on my list. That was always a good game. I'd have to look at that one, but no, that's not on our radar as of right now. We have so many things. Oh my God, we could literally have 200 games on launch if I had enough money. But
that's awesome.
That's one I haven't actually put on the list. I'll have to go back and look at that.
All right. The Wren wants to know. The Wren's wife wants to know if Qbert is coming.
Ooh.
I love Qbert.
So here's a trivia question for everyone. Do you know who owns Qbert right now? So it used to be a Gottlieb game, right?
I thought that Atari owned it at one point, but I don't think so.
Nope, not Atari.
They published it at one point.
How about anyone in the chat? Does anyone in the chat, and you're going to all, cheat and go on Google now, but does anyone in the chat quickly know who owns Gottlieb? You'll be very surprised. Nope, not Konami. Born Distracted.
Watch it be something like Sony.
Nope, it's not Microsoft. Yep, you got it right. Sony.
Are you serious? Sony owns Qbert?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Craziness is about to ensue. So there's a lot of different versions of Sony. There's Sony Computer Entertainment. They do, there's PlayStation, but then there's Sony Pictures, right? Like Sony Columbia Music. Sony Pictures does Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So Sony reached out to us and said, hey, we'd like to put Qbert on, let's figure out a way where we can put Qbert on the system. So we're talking to Sony right now about putting Qbert and some of their other properties on our system.
Lemmings? No.
Who owns Lemmings? Is that
Sony?
Sony owns it.
Lemmings too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to talk to him about that for sure. Multiplayer Lemmings, got to do it.
Yes.
It'll be interesting.
Let's see.
Show Industries says, I got to know, do we get Astro Smash, Tower of Doom, and Night Runner? So Night Runner was the M Network name for Night Stalker.
Right.
So Stalker, but when Mattel, what they did is, back in the day, it was the first time I think this had happened where we said, hey, let's put our Intellivision games on the Atari 2600.
Yeah.
Well, it's called M Network because it's Mattel Network, and then they changed the names. Like instead of Frog Bog, the M Network was called like Frogs and Flies or whatever the hell.
That's exactly what it was called.
And so to answer his question, though, yes to all of those.
Are we getting a Frog Bog?
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent.
100%.
Excellent.
Should be on launch, I think.
Okay, and I know we saw Night Stalker, so I know that's coming.
Stalker on launch.
Are we getting any remakes of the IntelliVoice games? So one of my favorites of all time, B-17 Bomber was one of my favorites.
The two guys who did that game, Steve Roney and Bill Fisher. They started at Intellivision in 1981. You walk in the office and they are still at the company, and so you can bet your bottom dollar. And what we're doing with B-17 Bomber is going to blow people out of the water. Nice. So they're overseeing a team of folks that are super talented, super amazing. Again, we're not 100% sure it's going to be on launch. We think it is. We're like, I'd say 90% sure that B-17 Bomber will be on launch because the controls are something you've never experienced ever before in a video game, period, end of story.
Nice. And on that note, a few people also wanted to know if some of the games like Atlantis, Baseball Bowling, Archon, and Burger Time might be close to launch.
So say that again. I'll say yes or
no. Atlantis.
On launch, no.
Okay. Baseball?
On launch, no, but shortly in spring when baseball starts, you can.
All right, so
hold on a second. Oh gosh, I'm not supposed to say this. Yes, there will be a version of baseball on launch.
So okay. Well, so let me ask this, because I don't know. Okay, but well, on the baseball though, real quick, is it? I'm imagining you're probably having some difficulty with. I mean, I guess it's not going to be MLB baseball. It's just going to be baseball.
Says you.
Okay.
Here, let me. I'm going to show some. Wait, see if I can show something here.
I
gotta block out the names. Wait.
All right.
Okay, so.
Hey, chat room, are you digging this? Because
this is so jacked up. But okay, so what's the date today? Today is my calendar.
Today's the 16th.
Okay, so I'm going to hit the 17th on my calendar. I have to be careful. What do I have at 8:30 tomorrow?
MLB Intellivision. You gotta be kidding.
Whoopsie.
Oh, play ball.
Nice.
Okay, so give me another one.
Hang on, I need another cigarette. Okay, bowling.
Yes.
Archon. Okay.
And the developer is doing it. Has done the most popular bowling game ever of all time. But go ahead.
Archon.
Archon, yes, but not on launch.
Okay, and Burger Time.
Yes, possibly on launch.
Okay, I'm down for Burger Time, of course. I mean, that's one of my favorites.
So I'm going to call it Super Impossible Burger Time. No.
Okay, right. All right.
Meatless Burger Time?
Beyond Burger Time.
Beyond Burger Time. Okay, so Varia Higginbottom has asked this like 3 times, so I have to get it in. How was it working on Metroid Prime?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Shigeru Miyamoto is the Steven Spielberg of the video game industry. The most brilliant game designer and game producer I've ever worked with, and I've worked with all the greats. But he's just in a different league. He's in a league of its own. I'll give you an example of how Miyamoto thinks, and it'll give you some insight to how he thinks and how different outside the box he does that he thinks. Which again, you look at all the things that we're talking about with Amico. It's a lot of outside the box thinking, isn't it? You know, and so usually when you do sound design, you know, a guy like Cliffy B, who I love. And we're working on Unreal, and he says, hey, Tommy, here's a chain gun. And he gives me the animation, and I go back, and it's post-production, and I make sounds that match the animations. That's typically how you do sound. It's post-production. Shigeru, I call him Shiggy. You getting Shiggy with it? I'm getting Shiggy with it. And I say, yeah, Shiggy. And he goes, Tommy, he says, I don't want to limit you as a sound designer. I don't want to limit you to like, here's an animation, here's a timing, here's what it looks like. I don't want to limit you to, you know, just make a sound for what our artist gives you. I want to do it the other way. Tommy, I want you and your guys to go back, no visuals at all. I want you to just dream up in your mind the most epic gun sounds you can possibly think of. Give them to me. I'll pick my favorite 10. I'll then give those to the artists, and they'll create the gun based around your sound. So when you Metroid Prime and you get that one, that was like us come up with this really cool sound, and then the artist took that and like, oh, that sounds like the screen's like warping out and stuff like that. They create the sound. The gameplay was created around our audio for the weapons. This is how this guy thinks. So I learned so much from working with him for 5 years. And we were good friends. We've been good friends since the early 90s, 1990, I think, or 91, we first met. And we'd always talked about working together because he was a big fan of, you know, because he would play Sega Genesis games all the time and Super Nintendo stuff, obviously. So he was a big fan of Global Gladiators, one of the first games I worked on the Genesis.
Mick and Mac.
It was a big Mick and Mac's Global Gladiators. Which was the Earthworm Jim team. That was the first game we ever worked on together. Then Cool Spot after that, again, same team, worked on that. Then he was a big fan of Disney's Aladdin, which was the team we worked on that. And then we all worked on Earthworm Jim 1 and Earthworm Jim 2 together. And here we are 25 years later after all those epic 5 games I just mentioned. 25 years later, the team's getting back, 10 of us, to do this exclusive Earthworm Jim game. By the way, did you guys see the Earthworm Jim animation I flew out yesterday?
Yes.
Pretty cool.
That is...
And there is so much funny, cool stuff coming for the new Earthworm Jim game.
Which I'm assuming is not at launch, right?
Not at launch. No. We're taking our time with that one.
Please
Probably
do.
Christmas of 2021. But people are like, again, and this is where the hate comes from. If you see, like, they'll be like, oh, why is Jim exclusive on that stupid thing? I'm just going to wait and buy it on Steam a month after that console flops. No, you're not. because the way it's exclusive. You can only buy it on our machine. But the reason being is that the way we're designing the game can only be played with this controller.
I saw you say that. I saw you say that on Twitter. The gameplay you were working on was only for that controller.
I wish I could give you a couple examples of what I'm talking about, but I can't because someone will steal the idea and put it in the game before we get a chance to do it. So we have so many funny things. See, the thing to realize about Earthworm Jim, notice how most video games aren't really that funny, are they? There's not a lot of funny video games out there, right?
Right.
The reason for that is that people design a game, they design levels, they have the layout of the level and all that, and then they think to themselves, how can we put a joke in here? The way we always did it, and the whole Earthworm Jim franchise was created like this, is 10 guys in a room trying to make each other laugh. So we'd all be sitting around a table and somebody'd be like, you know what we should do? You know what would be funny? What if like Jim launched a cow at the beginning of the game and he just launched him up in the air, and then every single level you would see this cow fly through the screen at some point. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Oh my God, yes, let's do that. And so every gag that we did in the game, we started with the joke first. And then we designed the game around that. Now people are saying, oh, how are you going to play a 2D side-scrolling game with that controller, you douche, blah, blah, blah. And I say to those folks, why would you think, see, when we did Earthworm Jim, if you break down Earthworm Jim was all expecting the unexpected, right? So level it's a 2D. The next level you're flying through space and hearing banjo music. Mm-hmm. The next level you bungee jump snot. I mean, there's all these different things, and so everyone's like, oh, it's going to be a 2D platformer game. Says who? Do you actually think that 25 years later, see, we were limited with what the Sega Genesis could do back then, and we made the best of what we could do with the tools we had back then. Do you actually think that 25 years later, we all want to get back together and go, oh, let's do a 2D platform game? Hell no. One of the reasons we've been waiting so long, because we've been talking about it for years, there hasn't been a video game system that's existed that's been able to handle all of our jokes in the way that we want to handle until now. Until now. So for all those haters out there who are like, oh, well, wait, and it'll come out in the PlayStation 4, it's not going to, because it cannot be played on mobile. It cannot be played on the Switch. It cannot be played on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, you name it. It can't be played on it. It can only be played on the Intellivision Amico, and not because of, oh, it's a signed exclusive. It's because the way we're designing the game and the gags can only be done with a color touchscreen, with a speaker and a microphone, with a gyroscope and an accelerometer, with a force feedback, with an RFID, with multiple people in the room. It can only be done like that, and no other video game console has all that stuff I just mentioned.
Right.
And the thing about Earthworm Jim, so there were, you're right. The fact that, and it was more so like in Earthworm Jim 2, your choice of music per level was insane, going from the Tarantella to Moonlight Sonata to a polka to a banjo music.
The techno,
yes. And then the doobie doo wop at the end, all right, or for the
actually Earthworm Jim 2, the beginning.
That's almost what I used for the video, for the intro video, almost.
Right. So that's the thing. Expect the unexpected.
Yep.
Again, we would be sitting in a room together, and we're like talking about, oh my God, the it was called Andy Asteroids, and Jim's on a rocket ship and he's trying to catch Psychro and the asteroids are coming out and you have to avoid the asteroids, catch up to them, bounce them out. And we're like, okay, you could easily do whatever. And we're like, oh my God, let's do banjo music. And we would all laugh. Oh my God, that'd be so funny. Boom, that's the music we're doing, right? If I just said, hey, let's do some like techno music there because it's like outer space and we want like blah, 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 then it wouldn't be funny, right? And so expect the unexpected. And that's kind of, what Earthworm, if we made each other laugh, if we suggested something, just even when we were doing Jim's voice, we're like, well, what should Jim sound like? We're like, oh my God, let's make him like a Southern like, movie, whoa,
so
make him like Southern, because why would he be Southern?
rest of the guys here, have you guys ever who here on this panel has played Earthworm Jim besides me?
Oh, I have.
All right, so John, Peter, did you?
A little bit.
All right, yeah. Chris, Thomas.
I think they fell asleep.
Thomas has been having trouble with his Skype tonight. He's free, so the best in the original Earthworm Jim for me was What the Heck. Yeah, here you are. You're playing. Is it that one or is it? Maybe I've got the wrong one. It's okay. I thought.
What the Heck starts out with Night on Bald Mountain.
Yes. And then all of a sudden, it turns into elevator music with screaming in the background. Right,
you're in
hell, and all you hear is da 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 da, and in the background you hear ah, and it's just so funny to go back and forth between those. That's what captured me on these. And then, of course,
so many gags. I wish I could share some with you guys. But
and it's really out there. The space scenery. I mean, you had the signs with the cows or whatever, and the game was phenomenal.
And if you legally own the game, which I do, and you legally rip it to your PC, there is one track in there that I don't ever remember knowing about until I listened to it.
Tell me.
It's the lesson on worms from David Perry.
Oh yeah,
where he did this whole thing on worms, and it was hilarious.
Now that was Doug TenNapel.
Well, no, are you sure? Because
no, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
it was Doug TenNapel. I think he reads about annelids and earthworms and all that.
Hang on.
Yeah, I think it's Doug TenNapel.
What a worm!
That's Doug.
Okay.
You better step up the difficulty setting if you want to see the real ending.
Oh, so that's not David Perry. So that's.
Yeah, no, he talks about David Perry.
Okay, so that's Doug TenNapel. All right, I need to hold on. I'm renaming my file. Sorry, David.
Learn everything. Look at that. Look at the look at Breakout right now. Watch the ball.
Yes.
Watch it. And then you can curve it with the boink. There, look at that. Boom. Yeah. It's really cool.
I've been fixated on it while you've been talking.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Let's see. So I kind of figure we'll know the answer to this, but Peter Diamore said he wanted to know about how he could possibly submit music for your games.
Email us at info@intellivisionentertainment.com. Just send it to there. It'll get to somebody at some point.
Okay.
Well, actually, if you go to our website, there's a developer thing. It says developers, or I forget the email.
Hang on, because I'm still on the site.
Just go there to our contact section, and there's like a developers thing, and just say, "Hey, I'm a musician. Can I submit some?"
Yep, here it is. Okay. I'm actually going to send you something to the press part because we want to keep getting this information as we go. Right. Mark Wren wanted to know, and a couple of people have asked in the chat room if there's going to be a Utopia remake.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
All right. How about with the Magic side, Beauty and the Beast? You did say that. You did say that.
Yes, Beauty and the Beast.
Lock and Chase. Nor'easter wanted to know.
So Lock and Chase is owned by the same folks who own Burger Time, Gmode. And it's on our list, yes, but probably not on launch. For sure, not on launch. Okay. But yeah, we have the right. We're getting the rights to it.
All right. And Wyatt Collins 303 wanted to know if there was any chance of getting various board games.
Absolutely, 100%. 100%.
Okay. And maybe a reimagining of the Oregon Trail would be awesome, he said.
Yeah, I don't know. Who the hell owns that, I wonder?
I don't know. It's funny. My son, my 15-year-old, I took him to...
Get some dysentery, it'll be great.
Yeah. I took him to a show, like a show in Philly called Too Many Games. And they have a kind of a museum room where they bring out old systems and old computers and stuff. And he sat down at an old Mac and started playing Oregon Trail. And actually I left him for, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes so I could go walk around and look at retro games to buy and stuff. I came back, he beat the game. He was determined. Wow. He was determined to beat it. I was so impressed with him.
You see they have a little handheld Oregon Trail now?
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
think
cool.
yeah. Let's see. Retro Advisory Board wanted to know what are you most surprised the industry hasn't adopted that you are doing? And what do you expect Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo to take notice and maybe borrow? I'm surprised no one's done the touchscreen thing yet. And Sony might. I believe Sony might. We haven't seen it yet, but there's rumors that but theirs is like really super small, and I don't even know if it's a touch if they have a screen there. But I'm surprised somebody hasn't done that yet. Now, of course, you talk about the Wii U. But see, the Wii U never utilized it great, and if you wanted to buy a second controller for the Wii U, it cost $179, right? So because think about this, guys, that one of the most, aside from Solitaire, the most popular card game in the world is Texas Hold'em, and you've never been able to play a true game of Texas Hold'em on a video game. The only way you can play is, you play online. But the fun part of Texas Hold'em is when you got a group of buddies in the room and you're looking to see if they're bluffing and then you get to throw down your cards and say, screw you, here's a straight flush and blah, blah, blah. That's the fun of playing poker, is in the room with other people, right? And you've never been able to ever do that on any video game system ever until now. Imagine everybody's got a screen, and so you have your two cards in your hand that nobody else can see, and the flop is on the main screen. You can actually play group cards now, right? Monopoly, Scrabble, it just goes on and on and on. All of the stuff that you're now able to do for real. So I'm surprised that someone hasn't done the screen.
The closest thing, Tommy, that reminds me of this was almost going back to, like Mike mentioned earlier, was the Dreamcast, where they had the VMU units, and you could actually call the football plays that you would pull up on those VM units, and that was like awesome because, everybody does the screen cheating, so
that's right.
You could prevent that.
That's the first time we kind of saw something like that. And again, it just kind of went away. Like, why wasn't that more adopted? And, what was that freaky? Oh, Seaman. Remember that game?
Yes. Seaman with Leonard Nimoy.
You say Seaman, I say Seaman.
Well,
I won't be playing that game with my grandmother.
No, not really.
It's a Navy game.
Oh.
And so that's one thing that surprised me. What do I think the others are going to adopt? I think that once they see how many non-gamers and casual gamers are having fun playing co-op, I think they'll start to react to that. But the thing is, like Sony and Microsoft, again, you could give a PlayStation 4 to my dad, and he still won't play it. You can give it to him for free. He's not going to play it. He's not going to set it up. He's not, so that's Sony have tried to do things in the past, like their, what the hell were those things called? The balls on the top?
The motion controllers.
The Move controllers.
So it's like you went down that path. You saw the Kinect with the Xbox. Hey, let's do the dancing stuff, and it all kind of went away because it's like an add-on. It's a peripheral. It's not the main focus of the machine. See, our main focus is that kind of casual play, fun couch co-op play. It's our only mission. Yes, every game has a single player as well. And so again, we're in our own thing. We're in our own lane. But I think when they see oh my gosh, look how many non-gamers bought the thing just like they did. By the way, this isn't something new. I'm not like the Wii. Nintendo proved this already. They proved it 14 years ago with the Wii that people who don't play video games will absolutely buy a video game system if it's simple, affordable, and easy to play. That was 14 years ago. Why the hell hasn't anyone done something like that since? And don't tell me it's the Switch, because my mom bought a Nintendo Wii and my mom did not buy a Switch. Nursing homes were buying Nintendo Wiis. Nursing homes have not bought Switches. It's a different thing. I love the Switch. Very cool. I'm just dropping facts. I'm not against Nintendo. I'm just saying it's a different experience, right? So the industry proved that this is a thing, and now everybody abandoned it because they got afraid of this. Oh, well, all the casual games are this, and no one's going to buy anything else that's not this. Really? So everybody likes just by themselves? You go over somebody's house, and the father's on the phone playing a game, the mother's playing Candy Crush, the kid's playing Fortnite, the baby's playing Sesame Street, and this is interactive entertainment?
Right.
Screw that. We're going to bring it together,
I agree. I like the thought of that, because families, like you said, the families like to come together and do tabletop, family gaming, like Monopoly, whatever.
Yeah.
But also, like you said, with the Wii, it brought the aspect of that, it brought families together to do, digital gaming together. And I like that your Amico's doing that and carrying that on. And, I look forward to doing this with my family. We're gamers, and
great to hear.
We like to have game nights. And, we play tabletop gaming, but also like this, I can see us getting together and doing this.
And why not a family game night with this?
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me about the dynamic in your family. So how old do you have kids? Is your mom tell me your family unit.
Well, I have a 19-year-old daughter and I have a 6-year-old daughter.
19-year-old
all game.
Daughter. You, a wife?
And my wife.
Okay. So
she likes the game. We have other family members that are older.
Okay. So when was and I'm curious, when was the last time you all played a video game together?
It's been a long time.
How pathetic is that, guys?
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
This is, and you just said your wife likes to play games. Your daughter likes, people like to play games, but they're not playing them together because of the way these companies are in their, again, it sounds disparaging, but Sony and Microsoft, they're doing their thing. They're battling. The stuff's amazing, right? But they're not thinking about the family unit. They're thinking about that 21 to 30-year-old, 35-year-old hardcore gamer. That's who their target audience is, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said at the beginning, there are 200 million hardcore gamers in the world. That means people who have a PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, or PC. You add up all those people, hardcore gamers, there's 200 million of them in the world. But 3 billion people play this every day, and there's not a single thing, and you just touched on it. In your family, there's not a single thing that you can play together. You're playing board games. When people say to me all the time, "Oh, is Nintendo you're going to be a competition?" No, Nintendo does what they do great, and they're their own thing. Our competition are board games, right? That's what our competition is. And so yeah, this is it's so obvious to every single one of you And that's why it cracks me up. And I'm going to say it again because they should be shamed. Any hater out there who doesn't understand this vision or who would want to see it fail, it's just mind-blowing. Like, what the hell is wrong with you people, right?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because there's so many games out there that there's so many different bubbles. Like you said, you brought up that people are in their own bubble, and I always try to express to people like that all games belong in this ecosystem, all of this hobby, no matter if it's AAA or whatever the budget, whatever it is, because it means something to somebody, right? So these games, like you said, the family, like the one thing about, there's been a while, like we talked about, but we got together, played Switch, either Mario, whatever, Mario Kart. But the thing is, we only had 2 controllers. It's expensive to buy. Yeah. Oh. So what I like about this is that you're making this affordable to have more family members get into it. You have your mobile phone to jump on in it. So I like that.
Well, I mean, and consider this too, like, because again, the haters are like, oh my God, they're so stupid. Why would they come out the same year as a PlayStation 5 and the Xbox X-rated or whatever the hell it's called, the X? And the cost of those machines are going to be $500, $600, $700, right? You're $500.
At least 500, yeah.
At least 500. One controller, no game. You got to buy another controller if you want. Again, let's think family of 4. Let's take your family that you're talking about, 19-year-old, 6-year-old. Let's talk your wife. Talk about your family. You're going to spend $500 to $600. 3 extra controllers. They're going to be $60, $80. Hell, the Elite controllers are $179. $179?
Well, you know what else, Tom? Some of these games, they're so complex, and they've got the awesome graphics. They've got these huge storylines with 100 hours, but sometimes they're not really fun to play.
Yeah.
I mean, they take you into this world and you play them and you want to get to the end, and it feels more like work than actual gameplay and actually having fun.
IDR too.
So you and your wife are going to have a buying decision come this Christmas. You're going to sit down and you're going to say, okay, family of 4. Let me see, Xbox $500, 3 more controllers, 6, 7. Okay, I'm at $800 with tax. And then the games are going to be $60 to $80. Boy, I hope they have a 4-player game that we can all play together. I wonder if they will. That's going to be $80. So let me see. I'm spending $900, or I can spend $225, $230, whatever it is, right? Or I can do that, and I can play up to 8 players, and every single game on there is multiplayer and family friendly, and everybody can play, and I don't have to worry about my 6-year-old looking at rape scenes and death scenes and drug paraphernalia and swearing and blood and violence and sexual content. I don't have to worry about any of that. So people are like, oh, you're crazy to come out the same time. Really? Am I crazy? Wouldn't I want to go up against that? Hey, kids, or hey, parents, this Christmas you'll have a choice. You can spend $900, or you can spend $200, right? Or $200. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't we want to? And again, I don't see them as competition. They're not. They're going to be amazing. I can't wait to get my own hands on both of those systems. I'll be the first in line. But that's not what we're doing. So people, again, these negative folks who come in and they'll say, you're an idiot because it's like, yeah, see, you're not thinking it through. You're not.
Well, being different's good, because we hear all the time social media, like especially with Sony and Microsoft, they're always saying, well, Sony does this, Xbox does it, Xbox does this, Sony doesn't do that.
Revenge thing? Is that what you're laughing at?
That's meet Frankie. Frankie's one of our old co-hosts, and he loves to ask questions like that. Yes, no Custer's revenge.
There will not be Custer's revenge for the younger For anyone who doesn't get that joke, Google Custer's Revenge Atari 2600. I have the game. It's quite epic.
Yeah.
And but no, that's a good one.
Oh my goodness.
No, you're absolutely right though. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so I have to. I should have asked you this at the beginning.
Hit it.
How did you get involved with Intellivision? Because it seems like you came out of nowhere with this. That you bought. So where is Blue Sky Rangers and all this too?
Yeah. I'll tell you the whole story because there is some confusion about this and some misinformation out there. So people have asked me before, like, when did you have this thought about, doing a console or, being the president of Intellivision? And I'm serious when I say this. They said, when did you first have this idea? And I tell them the truth. 1980. When I was a 12-year-old kid, if I could have any dream in the world, I remember thinking like, oh my God, imagine if someday I could be the president of Intellivision. Like seriously, like you manifest things in your life. If you think about them and you believe them so much. There's a great, I don't know if anyone's ever read The Secret or seen go see it. I think it's on Netflix for free. Go watch The Secret. It's exactly this. It works. The positive mental attitude, you put out positive vibes, you get positive vibes back. You put stuff out there, it's going to come back. And so, yeah, since the time I was 12, I was always thinking to myself, it's like Derek Jeter. When he was 8 years old, he wished he was the shortstop for the New York Yankees, right? And sometimes you just will this stuff to happen. So that's the childhood answer. But I was friends with Keith Robinson and all the Intellivision folks because Intellivision was my system growing up. I have a bunch of pictures of me when I was younger with my Intellivision. And
so just real quick, these are my original boxes. These are my original games.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And so I knew these folks, and then Keith Robinson, who was the president of Intellivision, started in 1981. He's the guy who did Tron. He said about 5 years ago, he goes, "Hey, Tommy, we know how much you love Intellivision and this and that. Would you be interested in like coming on as maybe a partner, maybe, helping us out to build the company and everything?" And I was like, oh my God, yes, this would be great. I said, but look, I have this idea because I can't play video games with my dad anymore. And we always used to do that in the 70s and 80s when I was growing up. I can't do that anymore. I have an idea. What would you think about making a brand new Intellivision system? He's like, oh my gosh. I mean, I couldn't do that without you. But yeah, that sounds like an amazing idea. We started talking about it. And then, then I go off on tour and then he does his thing. Then we'd see each other like, 6 months later at a convention, or he'd come over my house, or I'd go, hey, oh my God, we got to talk about Intellivision, this and that. And then unfortunately, Keith passed away about 2.5 years ago. And he was the heart and soul of Intellivision. If it wasn't for Keith, we wouldn't even be having this conversation now because he kept the thing going for so long and he was so passionate about it. He loved everything about it. And hopefully he's looking down, loving every minute of this. And so at his life celebration, I'll say, because I hate the word funeral, and it wasn't a funeral. People were there celebrating the life of Keith Robinson. I actually, I reached out to the other people who were the shareholders, which again were all people who worked at Intellivision since the early 80s and after. And I said, what's going to happen to the company now? And they're like, gosh, Keith was the heart and soul, and I know he was talking to you and he wanted to bring you in. I said, look, I have a vision. I want to invite you all over my house to present you with my vision. And they're like, okay. And so we talked about it there. And then about a week later, we come to my house. I had all my Intellivision stuff, my games, my boxes, every freaking thing possible that Intellivision ever did, and I had it all over my room where I was having this meeting. So they like walk in and they're like, "Who is this weirdo?" Stalker. And I basically laid out my vision for, basically what the machine has come, and they all loved it. And so Keith's company was called Intellivision Productions, and it held everything in one entity, in one company. It held everything. It held the trademarks, the games, the names, the software, the hardware, the patents, all that stuff was under one company. So in order to do what I wanted to do, I was going to have to raise tens of millions of dollars. So what we did was I had to form a new entity called Intellivision Entertainment. I own 50% of that. And what we did is, or I owned 50%, because when you bring in investors, you keep going down and down and down. So I don't own 50% anymore. But when the time we did this deal, I had 50% of the company, and then all of the assets, you have to make different LLCs to protect each individual thing. So the old games are in one Intellivision Entertainment. Our patents are in another company. Our new games are in another company. The hardware is in another company. And then Intellivision Holdings is the company that owns all of the companies underneath. And the reason you do it this way is because, let's say somebody comes after us and says, "Hey, I wrote a line of code in 1980 and I never signed a service agreement with Mattel, and I own the rights to Astro Smash," or whatever. They can only go after that segment of the company. They can't take down the whole thing, right? So you do it this way in order to protect the investors and to protect everything about what we're doing, right? And so it's just a smart way to do business. All of the stuff that remained, all of the history and all of the old games that were lying around, and they were still selling old games and stuff, that Intellivision Productions shut down, and that then became Blue Sky Rangers,
right.
Which Steve Roney is 100% in charge of. But Steve Roney is also one of the co-founders with me with Intellivision Entertainment, along with David Perry, who's the guy, Shiny Entertainment, who's the guy who created cloud gaming. He raised $50 million with his company Gaikai, sold it to Sony for $383 million. And that became, the whole PlayStation, cloud gaming system,
PS
so PlayStation Now. And so these are the types of people that we have, involved with this new thing. So that's how it all came to be, because there was some, and I'm glad you asked the question. I'm able to say that because people thought like I just bought the other company, or no, I was never a part of Intellivision Productions. I never bought Intellivision Productions. We started a new company and pulled all of the best assets that we needed and put them kind of in a row, because that's what you need to do when you're raising considerable amounts of money through institutional investors, VCs, private funds, and all that stuff.
That's great. I didn't know that. So, I'm glad that you were able to tell that story too, because you're in parallel, it does keep the continuity of what Intellivision was.
Yeah.
Like you, that's what, like I said, my parents didn't go with the norm. Everybody else was getting the 2600. Right. I got an Intellivision, and that was
lucky you.
Exactly.
Intellivision was more expensive back then, wasn't it?
It was. It was.
I couldn't afford one back then. I had the 2600.
Yeah.
$299, wasn't it?
Intellivision was $299 back then, which is the equivalent of about $800
today.
And we thought it was pretty funny. Like, isn't it kind of funny that our system 40 years later is actually cheaper than it was 40 years ago? And that's another reason why we thought it would be cool that the Founders Edition was $2.99 to kind of call back to that, to kind of as a tip of the hat to our original system. But Intellivision back in the day, we owned 20% of the entire home video game market. We were doing $500 million a year gross revenue. Now imagine that. If we were doing 20% and we were making $500 million, which is the equivalent of $1.4 billion today, imagine what Atari was doing, right? Atari was literally 5 times bigger than us. So you can imagine, we were like, we gave them a little bit of a run for the money, but we were never as big as Atari and popular as Atari because we were the more expensive machine. We were the better machine, but it was definitely, more of a machine. Like we did 4 million units, around 4 million units sold. And Atari did like, I think, 20 million or something, 30 million or something. So they were, 5 times, 6 times bigger than us.
I'll tell you what, though, but the commercials back then are awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some funny. They really tore
marketing in the games itself, the hardware, but they just owned more of the market because they were much cheaper.
The George Plimpton stuff was just so funny. Yeah. If you think about it, it reminded me like in the space game ad reminded me of PC. Remember the old PC and Mac commercials? Yeah, the PC guy and the Mac guy. The poor little kids.
One too.
Yes, that one was great.
Squares or like the Running Man. Yeah. Let's just say this. I'll say this. Don't count out George Plimpton in the 21st century. That's all I'm saying.
Uh-oh.
And if you, I mean, it's so funny. You'd have to figure it out, but I'm sure there's a way you could do it.
Well, I mean, even in our very first reveal trailer, you hear his voice.
Yeah. I mean, but that whole thing with the kid with asteroids, and it says, "Oh, there's nothing like asteroids," and he just walks up. Oh, have you seen the Intellivision?
Yeah, have you seen Space Battle, bitch? Yeah.
Right. Well, it was funny. Well, so
Star Strike.
Star Strike,
right. Bitch.
Right. Yeah. We have something no one else has: the destruction of a planet. It's. Yeah. He was pretty savage in those commercials.
Well, I'll tell you a quick story about him as well that Keith personally told me, and this is kind of Intellivision lore that's been passed down. So George Plimpton, when they first approached him, he said, "Look, if I'm going to talk about Intellivision, and I'm going to be the spokesperson for this, I'm not going to put my face on TV. I need to believe in everything that comes out of my mouth." So they showed George Plimpton. They brought him in a room and they had an Atari and they had an Intellivision, and that's kind of what sparked those commercials because they sat him down and he says, "Look, if I'm going to say Intellivision is better than Atari, I need to believe it." And they said, "Yeah, George, check it out." And he played them. He's like, "Holy Christ, this is way better," right? And so that's kind of what sparked those commercials is him saying, "Look, I need to see it to believe it." That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if we were able to afford it back then and see, what Intellivision was able to do, it was so much better than Atari. Just the way it looked. I definitely would have bought a television back then.
It really was. It was a better machine in every sense of the word. Again, it just didn't have a big library, and it didn't have as much of an installed base. But again, hey, look, full 100% respect for Atari. I mean, again, at the end of the day, they kicked our ass. Make no mistake, they kicked our ass. And I got news for you. 40 years later, we're returning the favor.
So what do you think of the VCS anyway? I mean, I was for full disclosure, I was interested in it for like a minute because it caught my eye, but there's nothing about it for me, I'll say it. There's nothing about it that grabs me at the moment. Right. What grabs me about the Amico is exactly the things that I'm sitting here looking at on my table. That the games that I grew up playing, like Night Stalker, which I spent so much time on. Yeah. I'm going to get to play the new one.
You'll literally cry when you play the new one. It's so good.
I'm crying now. You don't see it. I'm crying now.
And also, Tommy, this Amico, it has direction. Like, I was kind of interested in the Atari VCS for a while. And then you heard delays and this other stuff going on. But we're seeing it right before our very eyes. And Tommy's explaining this whole system and the games just wonderfully. And I mean, I'm going to buy one of these day one. Just no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm going to get the Amico. It's something that my wife and I will thoroughly enjoy, and I'll get the other systems too because I always buy everything. But this system is going to like hit a soft spot in my heart, and I love it. So.
That's where I'm at.
Before I answer the question about the Atari, I just noticed a question. They said, Tommy, do you remember ever working with Danny Richardson on Metroid Prime or a Dave Lumen on the Genesis? So Dave Lumen was the first roommate I ever had when I moved out to California. Dave was Dave was a producer back at Virgin when I was a games tester, and he was like one of the producers. But we lived together for like 2 years when I first moved out there. He was like my first roommate ever. And then, of course, Dave went on to become the vice president of Playmates Toys after he left Virgin. And when we all left Virgin, Shiny was formed. I formed Tommy Tallarico Studios, and Dave Playmates was the producer of the publisher of Earthworm Jim, and Dave Lumen was the vice president of Playmates. There's always like the video game industry so interconnected. It's crazy. Okay, thoughts on the VCS. So. Okay, so first of all, I hope they succeed. Let me just start off by there. I hope they succeed for two main reasons. One, all of the people who have given their money in the Indiegogo, I want them to get something that they feel satisfied with, right? So that because they were people who put the money at the beginning for a dream, and that's very commendable for those people. Anyone who does any Kickstarter project or Indiegogo product, hats off, props. I try to do as many as I possibly can to support, folks with a dream. I think it's really cool, right? So I really hope that the people who've put in the money get something that they're satisfied with. So that's what the first reason I hope Atari is the VCS comes out and it's successful. The second reason I want it to come out and be successful, like I said earlier, is so that I can kick their asses. Because we have people in our office, 4 people who've been at Intellivision since 1981, and I got news for you, they're still bitter. Wow. They're like, we're going to beat Atari this time. Yeah, 40 years we've been waiting for it. Now, I say all this stuff tongue-in-cheek. I don't want people to like, oh, he said this and he's going to blah, blah, blah. I say it because it's funny. I know Michael Artz, the guy who's the president of Atari VCS. I've known him, probably 20, 25 years. He used to be over at Creative Labs, and Creative Labs did those awesome, Sound Blaster. Yeah, the Sound Blaster cards, and of course, being an audio guy and this and that. So I've known Michael for a long time. It's look, they call it hardware because it's hard, right? And the one thing, if I were to take over Atari tomorrow, let's say, right? I feel like what I would do is I would say, you know what, guys? We're building the ultimate steam machine, right? Where, because forget all this sandbox mode, forget all this, like, what the hell does that even mean? Like, you're saying that it's going to be a box for hackers, or it's a Raspberry Pi on steroids. And so the way I would market it is I would say, hey, look, there are 3 million games on Steam, and you can only play them on your laptop. Wouldn't it be great to play a bunch of couch co-op, to play with people in your living room, on your big TV, to bring these games here? Because really, you can only bring them. And I know the Steam box tried to do that, but the Steam box doesn't have the Atari name recognition and the history and the everything that it has. So that's how I would have marketed it. But I think, like, we're all sitting here going, what is it exactly? The other thing, I think the biggest mistake, though, again, this isn't my thing. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. You asked me a question. I'm giving you my opinion. I'm not going to no comment. No, I wear my heart on my sleeve. You ask me a question, I'll give you the answer. You might not like it, but at least I'm honest. I thought the other problem I felt they have is that here's a console that's coming out next month, and they haven't shown any exclusive games, and the games that they have shown are 40-year-old games. Like, literally, right. Like, here's Centipede from 1979 or whatever, right. And 80. And so that's a problem. Everybody knows who does hardware and software, who's been in the industry, knows that the most important thing about the hardware is the software. You look at all of the most popular game systems that have come out. And I think the Sega Genesis is a perfect example. People say, what was the pack-in game for the first Sega Genesis? And everybody goes, Sonic. Nope. Altered Beast. The Sega Genesis did not sell and did not take off with Altered Beast in there. I got news for you. Go back and look at the numbers. Then Sonic the Hedgehog comes out, and boom, the thing takes off. I don't care if it's Mario Brothers on the NES, Pokemon or Tetris on the Game Boy. You go back, ActRaiser, it was Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. You look, they all had that. Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation, or Tomb Raider, some would say. Microsoft, Xbox. You couldn't get a company that gamers would hate more than Microsoft. Oh, what are you going to do, a spreadsheet fucking get? Like, people hated Microsoft, right? And they're like, I'm not buying your stupid Xbox. Boom, Halo. Oh my God, the Xbox is the greatest thing ever, right? You have that system seller. The Wii Sports. Now you look at all of the game systems that failed. 3DO. What was the killer app on 3DO?
Road Rash.
Road Rash that had already been done on the Sega.
I know.
Had Soundgarden
but it was the best version.
On a 3DO, so you could hear freaking Soundgarden in Road Rash instead of the Genesis version. They didn't really have that killer thing, and it was too overpriced. You look at something like the Ouya, kind of a cool idea, this and that. What was the game? You say, well, it was Towerfall. The reason that machine was doomed is that, the person who was running the show, Julie Ehrlman, never made a game, never, and really, in the sense of wasn't a game developer, wasn't a game maker. I remember that very famous scene where they said, hey, the Ouya is coming out. What games are on it? What's your flagship title? And she had to look off stage, and she didn't know. Oh, what's that one game called? Red flags, right? And so are the people who are making these machines game developers, game makers, hardware makers, passionate about everything that is gaming? And so that's one of the things. So when I look at the Atari VCS, I say, do they have a huge team? Our executive team for Amico at Intellivision, we have 600 years experience just on our executive team. I got news for you. Sony and Microsoft don't have that much. Nintendo does. Nintendo has more because they're like lifers there. Like people at Nintendo, they've been there since 1980. But we have 600 years experience just on our main team. So you say, does the Atari VCS has that? No, they don't. I think it's clear. And again, I hope they succeed. But how do you release a hardware machine with no exclusive games on it, or no say, oh well, we have you can sign up to a thing and pay $10 a month and get streaming games. Not AntStream, which is a great service, by the way. That's not what's going to sell your console, right? So that's my personal opinion. You asked me, I told you the thing. Again, hope they succeed, if for nothing more, so that we can, outsell them.
Yeah. So something that people have been asking you here and there, and I know this would be a great time to kind of clear this hurdle question too. You have said that there will be no ports of games over to the Amico.
Yeah.
So, but I have heard you kind of try to clarify that to direct ports and things like that. So
exactly.
So go ahead and just for
so people took that the wrong way.
When so here we go. Once and for all, right here on the NL Gaming Show. Give it to us.
Okay, so let's take a game like let's take a game like Breakout. Breakout, you can play, on an Atari Flashback. You can play on an Xbox Live. You can play whatever. There's 100 different Breakouts, right? Our version of Breakout, we handpick the developer. We design the game with the developer. We finance the game. We use our controllers. So, the way you control that thing is by your thumb. There's different ways you can do it, but the best way is by your thumb like this. No other control, no other game system can do that, right? And then you control it, and then you hit it, and you can go like this, and the thing curves. No other system can do that, right?
Wow.
So our version of Breakout is exclusive to our system. Now, in regards to, so every game on the system is exclusive. People say, well, you can play Breakout on other systems. Yeah, but not ours. Not ours, you can't. It's only available on our system. So, in regards to ports, if a game that exists, let's say there's a really popular game that exists in mobile or on the PlayStation or whatever, if we port it over to our system, and that's why I say, to clarify, there's no direct ports, meaning, I know Ori and the Blind Forest, we could never do that, or because it's owned by Microsoft, owns that studio. But let's take a game like Ori and the Blind Forest. If they weren't owned by Microsoft, you say, would you port that game on Amico? No, we would not take the game that exists and port it. But if there was a game, let's say Castle Crashers or something, and we're not, this is not a thing. It's the first thing that came to my mind.
That's fine.
And we would like to talk to those people because I think it would be epic. You take a game like Castle Crashers that people know it's great. It's got a great couch co-op. If we were to port that over to our system, we would make it unique, whether it's with the controllers, the way couch co-op, the touchscreen, the microphone, the lights. There's so many things that we can make better or add, and to make it unique for our system. So every single game on our system is an exclusive, and we don't do direct ports. But we will port stuff. It's just going to be completely unique experience. Does that make sense?
I agree with that too, Tommy. That's like, you have to give people a reason to want to buy the Amico.
Yeah.
You have to give a person reason. And if everybody else has the same thing,
what makes us special?
It doesn't make it. So I'm myself, I've been gaming for 39 years. I'm a big exclusive guy. So
Great.
Even if your game isn't a full 100% exclusive, it is because you're taking it and you're redefining how you play that game. And so when I go out to buy the Amico, I'll be like, well, I've got to get Breakout because I want to play it like that. And you've just given me a reason, and I've just bought your console. I think it's awesome.
And it's funny because, again, you go on the haters stuff, some of the message boards, the awful, vile message cesspool of hate, and you look on those things and people are like, oh my God, it's got exclusives. That's so stupid, and they're fail. And what developer would ever develop a game for them when that's the only platform they could build it on? Well, I'll tell you why, dumbasses. Because indie developers have pretty much two choices these days. They can either bootstrap the whole thing themselves, right? They all live in a dorm room together, make a game for no money, and then try to port it on every platform they can with zero marketing dollars, zero PR people helping them, and a wish and a prayer. Throw it on Steam so no one will ever see it. Throw it up on mobile so no one ever sees it because 1,000 new games came out that same week, and that's a real number. And then they've worked all this time and they're trying to port it to all these systems to maybe sell 10 or 15,000 units across 6 platforms. They can do that, or and get zero money and maybe get back a little portion of how hard they put their blood, sweat, and tears in it. Or they can do a Kickstarter or a crowdfunding campaign and get funded and then try to do it. And again, try to put it on as many platforms as they can. That's pretty much. Now, Intellivision comes along and says, hey, look, we want you to do a skiing game, our game. We want you to do Astro Smash. We want you to do whatever. Or they come to us and say, Tommy, we have this dream. Will you help finance our dream? And my guarantee to them is I give them the money up front. We give them the resources to help them build that game, whether it's programming or optimization, whether it's our art direction and our art director, whether it's audio, sound design. Hey, do you want to work with the greatest audio team? Do you want to work with the greatest art directors? Do you want to work with the greatest optimizers the industry's ever had? We will give that to you for free. Oh, by the way, we're going to spend money and market the hell out of your game for you because that's the big barrier to entry. Oh, and by the way, no 2 Intellivision games will ever come out at the same time. What? Yeah, that's right. When your game comes out on our system, nothing else will. You have the feature spot for probably anywhere from 7 to 14 days. Boom, every single person who turns on their Amico, bam, they see your game, spotlight, new game. It's the first thing that comes up on the, and I want to give away how our menu screen is, but it's something super cool, super unique that no one's ever done. And the feature is going to be your game. You don't have to worry about porting it 7 different ways with zero marketing, hoping that someone's going to see it or some influencer will pick it up. Now, if you're a game developer, an indie developer, would you rather do that first thing I said, sweat equity, no money, try to port it in hopes that or would you rather be on Intellivision? It's pretty damn simple. So again, for all the haters out there who say, oh, you're stupid because and no one's going to do games for your system, you're incorrect. And we have 200 game developer applications to prove it because people get it. And that's the inside behind the scenes industry look. Anyone who's doubting stuff that we're doing, isn't in the video game industry. You know, so people can hide behind their avatars and throw hate all they want. I don't, you know, clearly you're you know, what do they call them, armchair quarterbacks or whatever. You know, but and here's the reality. Here's the reality of the situation. There's way more overwhelming love and positive stuff for Amico. And the haters are the ones at the bottom. They're like the 3%, but they make the most noise. Well,
it's Twitter, man. It's Twitter and message boards.
That whole thing, right? But if you go on any Intellivision, go on any of our Intellivision videos on YouTube, and we can't fake this. Look at the like to dislike ratio. It's like 95%. So, and read all of the comments, and you'll see that, again, 95% of them are all positive. So I don't want to seem like I'm focusing on the haters. I just like to poke fun at them because they're just so ignorant. You know?
Well, two things I want to point out here too. Number one, look at the conversations and the people who are listening and watching this right now and asking questions and talking about all night how great this system is. I just saw across my Twitter feed one of those folks that's listening to the show has. I mean, he already tweeted out, "I know what I'm buying in October 2020, thanks to us and Tommy Tallarico for all the exclusive news on the Intellivision."
Sign up to our website.
I already gave him. He DM'd me. I already gave him the site. You know, but look at the conversations we're having tonight. Look at how many of us right here are day one on this machine.
And none of us are hiding behind our avatars and throwing out hate. No. You know, you're
except
talking face to face.
Yeah. And you know, and these guys, and we wouldn't let that happen in our chat room anyway. I mean, people can certainly say they're not interested. You're not going to get everybody. And I think everybody knows that you can't please the entire world, but nobody has been talking in our chat room tonight that has been one of those 3%. And that speaks a lot to, you know, one of the things that I have noticed this whole night has been your energy level on talking about the passion that you have behind what you're doing. You believe in this product and you believe in what the Intellivision is doing, and you are bringing guys like myself who gamed on this thing back to that point. Like I literally texted my wife, you know, because it's almost 12:30. It's 12:30 here, and I'm like, I'll be up soon. I said, but this is honestly the greatest show we've ever done. And then I said, by the way, the Amico is going to be, I think, something fantastic for the kids and for us.
Yeah.
You know,
that's right. That's the goal.
You mentioned Hasbro.
Wait, one quick thing to tack on that.
Yeah.
We truly believe, every single one of us in the office, we're working on the hardware and stuff. We really believe this. We're not joking around when we say we honestly believe that we are going to help change the world. We're going to use technology to bring people back together. We're going to use video games to bring families together, right? Because video games are splitting apart families. We want to bring that back to the old days when all of us grew up. It wasn't like that. And we want to bring that back. Think about this. There's a whole generation of kids, teenagers and younger, who have no idea what it's like to play video games together in a room, right? And so we're gonna change that. But we really do feel that we're gonna do something positive for the world. Yeah. And again, for all the haters out there, if you're against that, there's something wrong with you.
Well, this is not your console. I mean, it really isn't. Yeah. But, you know, and we veered off into the Roblox, you know, controversy. Yeah. But the point I was trying to make earlier about that was when you were talking about kids and focused on their stuff. As I said earlier, I have a 15-year-old son, I have a 10-year-old son, and I have a 5-year-old son. The 10-year-old and the 5-year-old are playing Roblox together, but they are but he's on one couch and he's at the kitchen table, and they're not even looking at each other. Like they're not even next to each other. They're not even and that is crazy to me.
Wouldn't it be amazing? Wouldn't it be amazing is if and there's the Roblox controversy with the oof sound right now that we talked about earlier. Wouldn't it be amazing if we brought a version of Roblox to Intellivision?
So you know what though?
A true multiplayer couch co-op version. So it wasn't the ecosystem, like it was a special, hey, I'm in a really good position now to negotiate that. So
I still think the
it's on the list, boys. I can tell you, it's on my wall.
It's on your phone, your calendar. No, I said earlier, and I think the oof sound should be your startup sound. I think that should be your startup.
Well, the Amico too, Mike and Tommy and everybody, I mean, everything that we've seen, the whole system screams quality. I mean,
Thanks.
It's a nice size. It looks like there was a lot of thought and love put into this and designing it. Yeah. And I mean, it just looks like a solid system. I mean, I don't know how anybody could not want it. Especially if you're an older gamer and like this stuff, or even new gamers.
The cool thing is when you hold the controller in your hand, like it's not cheap and plasticky, and you're holding the thing in your hand going, oh my God, like it's such a cool piece of tech. And then you see the things light up and the disc light up and the buttons and the console lights up. I mean, it's just beautiful. We haven't started showing that stuff. And it's, people are going to freak when they see it. It's really that cool.
So your next big piece of reveal then is E3. So this is your next.
No, we're gonna be releasing stuff, every week. We'll be releasing. I can think of 3 things that we have super cool thing. Like I dropped that Earthworm Jim thing.
Yes, you did.
So like we have. I could literally do a post every 2 days of something super cool and unique building up, and we'd still have enough. So I mean the big reveal, where all the cards are now going to be on the table and everyone knows exactly what it is, will be at E3. And but until then, we're just going to drip out information. I think you guys got probably 4 or 5 exclusives here tonight.
This is unbelievable. And it's funny, a couple of people in the chat room said, hey, with Sony not being there at all, you guys could do a press conference.
Totally. No. Well, so good point. I mean, there was a story that was written on DualShockers, I think yesterday or the day before, because they called me up. They said, hey, did you hear the news about Sony? I'm like, yeah, I actually knew a couple weeks ago. Is Intellivision going to abandon E3? I'm like, hell no. Like, this is the best news ever for us, right? So Sony's not going to be there. So now we'll have playable Intellivision machines on the floor, and more press people are going to be covering us because the PlayStation 5 isn't going to be there. Hell, I hope Microsoft drops out next, bitches. Not going to happen, but
I don't know, man. So you and I have traversed a lot of E3 floor. You have to admit. So I was going to E3 in the 2000s. So to give you a little history, before this was a YouTube channel, this was a website. So I ran this website back from about 2000 when Dreamcast kind of shut down, when Sega did that, to about 2007 when I kind of retired from gaming journalism. I spent that time going to E3 every year. You have to admit that it's not the same show it used to be.
Oh no, not at all. No,
it's not like the pomp and circumstance seems to not be there, and that's I kind of.
Yeah, and the industry's changed too. Media has changed.
That's
press
the thing.
Changed. Influencers are a thing. Keywords are a thing. The way, it was more exciting back then, because you had to read about it in a magazine or you had to see something on a website. You didn't see videos. You were hoping to see those big trailers there. You could play. And so, it's kind of like everything is so everything is all over the place and social media and everything that we consume, all this stuff, that it almost doesn't become as special anymore. Sniper Melon, he said, please answer. I've been asking all night.
Oh, what did he? Hold on.
What's Sniper Melon? I want to make sure he's been with us all. He
has. Did I? Oh! I know. Was it him?
Him or her?
Or her? Sorry. Sniper Melon. Oh, fighting games. Would there be any fighting games? Sniper Melon wants to know.
Not right now. There is not. No. Just because, again, there's those are like button mashers. There might, and they're mostly violent, but something like a clay fighter isn't. But we don't have that on the list currently. But if we were to do a fighting game, it would be something that was probably funny, like kangaroo boxing or something. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. Llama battle or something.
Llamas are popular this year.
Yeah, you could use those gyroscopic controls too.
Yeah, alpaca boxing. Yeah, so I mean, right now we currently don't, but that could change. But yeah, because fighting games are popular, but it's not something that my mom would play out of the box or whatever. And it's not to say that we're not going to have it. It's just we're trying to think our first round of games. We're trying to think like how many can we reach everybody?
Right.
You know what I'd like to see, Tommy? A Marble Madness game.
Yes,
that's one of my favorite arcade games. You could get that on the Intellivision. Oh my God, I'd love that.
So do you know who created Marble Madness?
It's been a long time.
I know this. Hold on. I know this.
Person's name. Freaking Google.
Oh my God. No, well, you're going to make me Google it. I used to know that. I swear I used to know this.
Tell you, I am Google, bitch.
Cerny.
Mark Cerny.
Yeah.
So the guy who is the architect for the PlayStation 3
and 4, yeah.
Who did Marble Madness?
Yep.
Yeah, the guy, the brains behind the PlayStation. A good friend of mine. Great,
but
smartest guy.
Who owns that now, though? Does Atari still own it?
No, because I would have saw that on the list and grabbed it. Because they gave me a list of all the games they owned, and that wasn't on there.
Okay.
I don't
know. Let me see. I'm looking to see because I know EA published.
What's that? Retro Advisory Board. That last question. Maybe. We might revive it, but we probably will. But it might not be on launch. But yeah, that's one of the ones that we delayed a little bit for right now. But we're hoping to revisit it. But go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no! I was just the last time I'd seen Marble Madness was
the gyroscope. EA owns it?
No, I don't think they own it, but they published the Genesis version.
If WB owns it, we have an amazing WB basically loves everything about Warner Brothers. Loves everything about him. They basically said to me, "Look, whatever you want, you can have."
Oh, you got to get that. I love it.
Yeah, you got to get Marble Madness. Hold on. Did Midway own it at one time? I didn't think Midway owned it. It was published. It was developed by Atari. It was originally an Atari game. I do remember that.
It was on the Midway stand-up arcade machines where I played it with the rollerball. I think.
Huh.
I think they did with the stand.
Let me screw watermarks. I believe you. I honestly do. I'm not doubting you. I'm trying to remember how that.
Well, Google it.
Where?
Google
I am. No, I am. I'm looking at.
Yeah. What's Wikipedia? Josh Leslie. Hey, Josh. He says MDK. Does it count as E10 plus? On Amico. No MDK on Amico, especially considering MDK stands for Murder, Death, Kill.
Yeah. and I'm sure that's still probably owned by BioWare too.
1984.
Right.
But Atari doesn't own it though. Just like they don't own Battle Zone either anymore. They sold that off.
No, they don't. That I know because of the PSVR version. All right, so in 2013 or 2003, Marble Madness was included in the Midway Arcade Treasures.
Screw Watermarks knows. Atari Games, it was the arcade. Then it went to Midway. Then it went to Warner Brothers. Yeah, because Warner Brothers bought all the Midway stuff. So
right. I do remember that. Pour one out for my friends at Midway. Man, that was a great company. Midway was such a great company.
Oh, the best. I did a lot of Midway games. I did Blitz Football with them.
I remember that.
I did Spy Hunter. Spy Hunter. I did that with them.
The second one, right?
Well, not the original arcade, but the
you did Spy Hunter 2.
Whatever the hell it was. Yeah. I don't know what that's called.
The one that came out on the PS2 and Xbox.
Yep.
Yeah, that was Spy Hunter 2. I remember that game.
Yeah. I worked on the Army Men game. Was that Midway? No, that was 3DO.
Which one?
I don't know. Army Men.
Army Men was. Yeah, but I thought there was an Xbox and PS2.
Yeah, but 3DO, after they tanked on the hardware, they still made software.
Okay, so it might have been that. I had some good friends at Midway. That's why I have
Hyper Style says, Tommy, do you have a Bandcamp page or any way to buy your old soundtracks? Yes, if you go to, so there's two ways. If you go to my website, Tallarico.com, there's an album, or there's a store section that has a bunch of video games, live stuff, and all that stuff. But also, if you go on Spotify or go on to Amazon or go on to iTunes and just put in my name, all my old soundtracks will come up, and I put them up there for like $9.99, and I think they take like 20 or 30% or something. But yeah, you can buy them individually or write directly from me at the website.
Or just own the games. No.
Well, because I always do special stuff on the soundtracks.
True. No.
I have like this whole compilation, like every album I've ever done on my website on Tallarico.com on the store. There's one thing, and everything's 50% off actually in there right now. So now's a good time to get it.
Yeah, I gotta go and get a couple of those because there are some tracks I'm missing that I need to catch up on.
Right.
So how long? I mean, how long have you been? When did you start playing guitar and piano and stuff? I mean,
I started playing piano when I was 3 and guitar when I was 5.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I was going to ask you about that because you know your music history and how that plays a big part in your gaming. Were you in band? Were you in band or anything in school?
No. I mean, I was in a band, but not band like traditional. And I don't know how to read music either. I never learned.
Okay.
Really?
No, I play everything. I play by ear. Guitar, piano, everything. By the way, Eddie Van Halen never took a guitar lesson. Jimi Hendrix never took a guitar lesson. So
that's all right.
I feel I'm in good company.
I'm with you. I took piano lessons for like a year.
Guys, I'm just saying that that's my inspiration for not learning music.
Right now, the little band that I'm in, we do cover stuff, and I haven't read a piece of music on that either. I listen to it and then play it.
Sean Caldwell says, Tommy, what Amico game are you most looking forward to? Oh, that's a great one. For the launch titles, Moon Patrol and Night Stalker are my two favorites right now. It's fun too. But yeah, I would say Night Stalker and Moon Patrol. People are going to freak the hell out. They're so good. So fun.
I saw a question from BRT Technologies about a Sea Battle or classic football.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Any sports games or anything?
Yeah, both of those are on the list. Not on launch. Football. We're gonna have football closer to the Super Bowl or the playoffs, so it's probably be by Christmas. Okay. But yeah, not on launch. I don't think we're gonna have a football game on launch. No, we won't. I don't think so.
Nice. Anything on AD&D, Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes. Awesome, epic. People are gonna flip out. It is so good, so different, so unique. Right. Old game, but with like a new Running Man graphic, and it's beautiful, and the lighting.
The arrows will still bounce off the walls.
Dragon, it's all there, boys.
Okay. All right. You know what would be nice?
That would be on launch too, I believe.
It's a shame you couldn't get the Empire Strikes Back game from. Unfortunately, when it was Parker Brothers, it's easy, but when it's EA, not so much.
Now, yeah, EA has the exclusive on anything.
Yeah.
So it's not to say that there won't be Star Wars games on our thing. They would just have to be done by EA.
Right.
But EA, our focus isn't on EA and Activision and Ubisoft and all that stuff now. We don't have any game publishers like that for now. We're just focused on everything we're doing. And I think once the game system comes out and then there's a whole bunch of installed units, then they'll be knocking our door down, and then we'll start to get into that kind of stuff.
Well, I don't think like a Battlefront or anything like that. But that, you remember? I mean, Tommy, you remember the Empire Strikes Back game for that in the Atari? It was the AT-AT battles, right?
Yeah, of course.
You had to shoot the little square to blow them up, or shoot them 100 times. I would love to see a reimagining of that.
Bill Watermark says, will certain physical Amico games be sold direct to consumer from an online store? Yes. Spy versus Spy, great game.
Yeah, it was a great game.
Oh, great music. Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, that's Spy Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. Spy versus Spy was kind of
thing.
Yeah, that's a whole different game, John.
I thought he said Spy versus... Okay, I thought he said Spy. Okay, that's my fault.
Does the Running Man appear in crossovers in other Amico games? Yes, is the answer to that. Why not ask Disney about Star Wars? Because although Disney owns Star Wars, Electronic Arts paid them a crap ton of money to be the exclusive people to put out Star Wars games. So no one else can put out Star Wars games because EA has the exclusive license to anything Star Wars related. Sniper Melon, what's the most advanced gameplay allowed on the Amico? Can they be more complex than 2 buttons and the disc pad? Yeah, they can. I mean, there is going to be some stuff like that. Take a game like Utopia as a perfect example, where Utopia is a pretty complex God-style game, the very first God game ever, city-building game. So, yeah, there's going to be stuff like that on there. It's not going to be the majority, but it's going to be there for sure.
Boogerman.
Not on this system as of yet.
And people have been asking.
It's not on our list right now.
People were asking about other Interplay games as well.
Yeah, I saw that. No, right now Earthworm Jim's the only one. Clay Fighter would probably be on there, maybe. They sold Descent, so they don't even own that anymore. But a lot of the people who work at Intellivision came from Interplay. Because Interplay was right there with Virgin, so we have like half the Virgin team and half the Interplay team. It's all incestuous.
That's funny.
We got the band back together.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Who owns Descent now? It was such a cool game.
I think does In Exile own it? I think they bought it. Brian Fargo, who was the original president of Interplay. Yeah. Because he sold the company, went public, then a French company bought it. But I think Brian might have bought that back within Exile, which is now owned by Microsoft. So Microsoft might own it. Anyway, how about we got 7 more minutes? We'll wrap this up. 3.5 hours? What do we do?
Where are I don't even know where that went. I don't even care. This has been this has been
hours. It's gone by quick, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I mean, and I will tell you that what we do, we will give you the same invitation we give everyone else that comes on. You now have an open invitation anytime. So if you get the itch and you say, I don't want to get on that NLG show with those guys again, all you have to do is just DM me and say, hey, Mike, you got room? And of course we do. So that's a given.
Any other questions from anyone else in your group, in your crew? How about
Peter?
Anyone on the fence? Is there anyone on the fence for any reason? What are your if so, what are your, what is it? Is it the controller? Is it the games? Like, I'm curious if anyone's on the fence, what are the things that they're weary of?
It's a day one for me. I know that. I want the wood grain. I want everything. I want it all.
You had me at Intellivision. I mean, there isn't a fence. Right.
Well,
the only fence keeping us from buying an Amico is the date.
Well, here's the thing, Tommy. Just recently, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I bought one of those one-up arcade systems.
Oh, they're great, aren't they?
They're great, but that's $200 or $300, and it only plays 4 games. So why wouldn't I spend $200 or $300 on a console that plays tons of games?
So I met with the one-up guys because I got the Star Wars machine here.
Oh,
I love everything.
That's the one I want to get.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want that one.
Is so high quality. It's so great. I love those guys. And so I met with them at CES. And so we're doing, and we haven't even announced this yet, but we're doing a mini Intellivision with them that's like this big. So the controllers are like about this big, and the screen is like this big. But here's the cool thing. I gave them a picture of me when I was 12 years old playing Intellivision in my living room. And remember those big wooden console TVs? You know, they sat on the floor. We all had them, right?
Oh, had the speakers built in, yeah.
Built in and all that. Had the 2 big knobs you could turn, UHF, VHF. So I gave them that picture, and I said, look, I'll do this deal on one condition. You have to build my TV as the TV screen, which they're doing, and then I also said, and you have to give the ugliest TV to Atari. So we're doing an Atari one, a Coleco one, and an Intellivision one, and it's going to have 10 games on it, 10 original Intellivision games, and I just love those guys so much. And I normally wouldn't do a deal like this, but they're such a great company, and it doesn't really compete with anything we're doing. It's like this cute little mini thing. They look so cool.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean,
3 more minutes. Anyone have any other questions? Super Melon says, can you make sure they answer my question? What's your question? Mr. Tallarico, will you guys be releasing more colors the console and controllers, like maybe bring back the translucent plastic look from, I mean, you'll have different options for sure. And yeah, you might buy a white Amico because you love that, but then you could go out and buy black controllers or different things like that. So yes, we'll have different things that you can mix and match. Will Intellivision ever return to the mini retro console market? No. The one-up thing is the thing. We're not going to do like another flashback or anything like that, because we're gonna be doing all of our games on Amico as well. We're going to sell the original Intellivision games.
Oh my God! There we. Come on. How many nuggets of information are we getting tonight?
So you're gonna have a sports pack that'll have football, soccer, hockey, baseball, and we're gonna sell we're gonna sell them for like 50 cents each. So it'll be like 10 game for $5. And the big thing is, of course, you don't need the overlays anymore.
Right.
Digital original.
You know what would be cool? All right, I'm gonna give you an idea. You can take it, you can leave it, you can laugh at me later.
Okay.
I have seen and Tecmo Bowl did this where you could swap.
Talking to those guys too, Tecmo.
There you go, Chris.
Please, I'm already in.
So like with
nice cherry on top.
So take Astro Smash, okay? My favorite one.
Yeah.
And you have that ability to switch back and forth on the fly between the original and
so if you look in our trailer, you'll see Asteroids does that.
Okay.
Yeah, look in our trailer and you'll see Asteroids.
The Gamescom trailer?
Yes, in the Gamescom trailer, you see it playing, and then you can switch, and it goes back to the original Asteroids on the but it's a power up. It's really cool. Yeah, go to the towards the end there. Affordable. Yeah, it's coming up. Okay, watch this. I'll show you when it starts. Now, this is Asteroids, and then boom, you hit that.
Oh, I saw it.
Nice. Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah, that people thought those were 2 separate games. No, it's the same game. That's the new Asteroids.
All right, so there's Astro Smash. Is that Shark?
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you what all the games are?
Let's see. All right, hold on. Let's start at the beginning. All right, let's start at the beginning. There's a handsome Tommy guy. All right, there's Moon Patrol. We know this one.
One, you know that.
All right.
Next.
Is that
Awesome.
triple?
So Triple Action had
Triple
three
Action?
things. It had
Yes.
biplanes, tanks, and the crappy racing game.
Right.
Which no one played.
I did.
So biplanes was such an epic game within Triple Action that I said it needs its own game. So yes, that's biplanes. It's its own game now.
Oh man, Triple Action. All right. There's obviously Night Stalker, obviously.
By the way, I'll say this. Mike Micah, that's the game one of the games he's working on.
Him and I are having a DM conversation tomorrow.
So
all right, you know what? Maybe well, he's gonna know because you just said it. So all right, so there's that. So what's this?
This is so you know how you have runner games,
right?
The real popular runner games,
right?
Why wouldn't you have a running man game like that?
Right. Okay. So this is an original.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we have.
You know what that is?
Missile Command.
Yeah, 8-player Missile Command.
Oh yeah, I see all the. Oh my god.
This particular one is 4 players because you can see the blue, red,
yellow, and purple.
And so that's a 4-player version, but you can have up to 8 players. And then we also have a versus mode where somebody's on the top, somebody's on the bottom, and you're throwing missiles at each other while you're defending from each other. It's super.
Good grief.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. All right, this is
Asteroids.
See
where it says shift on the bottom there, the hyperspace shift?
Yeah.
Watch, play it through, and then you see that thing gets collected there, boom, and that turns you
gotcha.
to the
Space Hawk coming?
No, not yet, but the guy who created Space Hawk, Bill Fisher, is our president of technology, so we might do something. But really,
tell him
asteroids. So
yeah, but tell him to get on it. Space Hawk was another one. We were talking about that in chat earlier. I would get what I like to call Intellivision claw from playing that game for the buttons.
Too much, yeah. That's funny. What else we got?
All right, let's see. Hot Wheels.
That way, I can't tell you this one, but it's it's like Crisscross Crash, right?
Okay.
This one's so epic. It's an original title. It's super. This is one that people love, and I can't tell you what it is because somebody will rip off the idea, but it's so cool.
Okay.
But you can only play this on an Amico anyway because of the way the dynamics are after you get out of the. It's awesome. That we know. It's Armor Battle, right?
That's Armor Battle.
Yeah.
I didn't know. So
which is also tanks. It's really the same thing. It's more like tanks on Triple Action than it is Armor Battle.
Well, no, the only reason that I didn't think Armor Battle at first is because there's a helicopter.
Well, see, that's what I did is I'm like, screw it. I always loved the game Armor Attack. You remember that arcade one? It was the XY vector graphic, and that helicopter would come in. You'd be like, shit, it was all like chaos. So I just kind of lifted that because I always loved that. And so we added that to, the bad guy comes in the helicopter, and you can blow up the helicopter. So the cool thing is all the tanks, you're like against each other, playing in full-on versus mode. But the second that helicopter gets there, everybody, the guy who you hate and trying to kill, now, holy shit, let's work together to get this guy because he's going to nuke everybody one at a time, and you don't know if you're next. And so now you're all working together, and then the second he blows up, okay, we're back to hating each other again. It's so cool.
Oh, my goodness. All right, we know what this. I know that this is. I know. So we just said Shark, and Astro Smash.
Shark, yeah.
And, of course, Breakout. Whoa. Okay, wait. I know what that is, but hold on. What was that? There was a small one in the middle. What is that?
Circus.
I can't say. It's an original game. It's going to be awesome.
So it's not okay. So it's not like it's not a
simple game. Think Angry Birds at the circus, but with super cool touch controls that no one's ever done before.
Okay, so it's not a remake of a remaster or reimagining of Carnival.
Original IP.
Okay, cool. All right. Was that
next one? that is going to be the sleeper. Like, this is an original IP. You can only play it on our system, and this will be the most talked about family game next Christmas. Guarantee you.
Okay.
In focus testing, this is the one that the non-gamers love the most.
Is it called Backtalk, or is it something else you can't tell me yet?
Word you can't see behind there, but yeah.
Okay. All right. We know what this is. That's Snafu.
And Snafu is 10 times better than that. That's 9 months old.
I mean, look. If it looked like that, I'm sold. I mean,
it's better than that. You're gonna shit your pants.
Oh, here's that General Meow. So if this came back into the play, this would be technically a fighting game.
No, because it's kind of more turn-based.
Okay. All right. Oh, I was gonna. You know what? I know what that is. That's auto racing.
Auto racing,
and of course, and there's Ed's game. So
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah.
That might be Fathom for all you know.
Oh, it could be Fathom, but it's not.
It's not Fathom.
It's not. It's Echo the freaking Dolphin.
But the weird thing, but there's something interesting that no one's really talked about in this. When they say, "Oh my God, flipping out," it's got to be the kind of thing. Do you guys notice something about the ocean?
No. Well,
how many dolphins do you see on screen?
1, 2, 3,
4.
Well, is that a dolphin or is that a small whale?
That's a whale too.
That's a whale, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 dolphins.
What about nearest tail?
So there's 4 dolphins. So but they all have different abilities. And so what I'm saying is Echo the Dolphin was always a first player game, wasn't it?
That's all different players.
I'm not saying this is Echo the Dolphin, but I'm saying that.
Wow.
Ed might be calling you tomorrow.
4-player Echo the Dolphin.
Oh my God.
That'd be
or
fun
1 player, or 2 player, or 3 player.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I mean, my son, my 15-year-old, found Echo on the Xbox on a Genesis replay or the Genesis flashback, and he loved it. And so, my God. Oh man! All right, so that's the end of that. So we'll ask you because we have to, and then we'll let everyone go.
So this is the last question.
So we went through those other games, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I want to make sure that these are really still coming.
Okay.
Let's see. Wait a minute. Let me get to
online store.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to where. Yeah, we'll skip past that
price
point. I know.
Forget that one.
Yeah, I know. All right, so we've talked about those. We've talked about the Atari games. Yeah. Motor Race?
Not on launch.
But coming?
Oh, yeah, all these are coming. Yeah.
So Miner 2049 is actually coming?
Yeah, maybe on launch, possibly.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Tropical Angel.
Coming, but not on launch.
All right, we talked about Burger Time. You said maybe launch?
Launch for sure.
Oh, launch for sure. Okay. Moon Patrol, we know. R-Type. Sure. R-Type.
Potentially on launch.
But R-Type is coming.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, my God. 10-yard fight? I was just playing that on...
Potentially on launch.
See, there's your...
We're gonna have...
I love before Tecmo.
We're gonna have a couple more. We're gonna have a couple football games. Love to get Tecmo. Gonna have 10-yard fight, and then there's Intellivision football as well. So you can never have enough.
And yes, Load Runner.
Probably on launch.
People need to play this game. People need to understand the beauty that was Load Runner.
Yeah.
Peter knows, right? Commodore 64 days.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Kung Fu Master.
Oh, one of my
favorites.
Nice. Not on launch, but yes, coming.
Cool.
Archon.
Coming, but not on launch.
Okay. Archon 2 was the better game, though, if you can get that one.
Yeah, I loved it.
All right, to answer Screw Watermarks.
Potentially on launch, we think.
Right. But not a direct port of the Grooves. So not back in the Groove.
Direct port, but the same team, but there's a perfect example. I should have used this example earlier. So yeah, that Toe Jam and Earl came out, taking that, make it multiplayer, use the touch screen, do more levels, funnier stuff, more music, blah, blah.
Is Greg working on it?
What's that?
Is Greg working on it?
Yeah, the team who did the newest one, yeah.
Well, Greg Johnson, of Toe Jam Earl.
Oh, crap. I don't know the answer to that. Did he work on that one?
Yeah.
The latest one?
Oh, yeah. Well, he's the head of Human Head Studios, too.
Oh, okay.
So,
I don't deal with him. I deal with the dude with the pink hair. Crap. The executive.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. And Spelunker? I can't believe people... This is another game people got to play.
Good.
This was, by the way, that game was huge in Japan. Maybe on launch, probably not.
Okay, that's all right. There's going to be plenty on launch. All right, and then, of course, the exclusive games you talked about. So,
yeah.
This is amazing. I mean, I don't know how you don't be excited for this. I just don't know. I don't get it.
You want seriously? I challenge you guys. Go to Reset Era or 4chan.
No.
And put in Amico, and you'll be amazed at like that someone could know this and watch this and then say the things and they don't. That's the thing. They write it off the second they see it. Oh, it looks like a takeout box, or whatever, or a foot massager.
Now, if you would use the Jaguar thing, we would have talked.
Right. But the interesting thing, and I always make people who make fun of the box. So you say, my God, it looks like a baby monitor. It looks like a foot massager. It looks like a takeout box. So let me ask you guys, who buys baby monitors and foot massagers?
Moms.
Oh, isn't that interesting? And look at it as gamers, and we look at that thing, and you say, oh my God, it's Tron, I want it. So it's again, people don't realize, and by the way, PlayStation, Xbox fridge, I mean, do any of those, like, they're square and rectangles, right?
Well, plus, after you've been married a while, you need something to massage your feet. So you need that.
So we're doing it all different. We're doing something different. We're doing something unique. It's something that our console tests very high among women. So yeah.
They are half the planet.
It's pretty cool. Throw up the vintage one or the red one or the purple one. People freak out.
Yeah. No, and the wood grain one was in the other video. So I mean, that's really where we are. So we have crossed we're almost crossed the 4-hour mark, and there are still 40 people watching this show. This is amazing. I have to say. Look, I do think we all have to work in the morning, and Tommy, you have given us so much of your time today, and I cannot even I can't begin to thank you enough. I mean, this was besides the fact that it was very informative about the Intellivision, it really stoked a lot of youth feelings for at least me, growing up with this thing. And the excitement that I have is, these guys will tell you I have talked about this console for a year. I mean, they know that they know that I haven't, this isn't, oh my God, we have Tommy Tallarico on the show. Let me talk this thing up. No, the whole reason for my getting this is because it reminds me of what I grew up on, and I'm hoping my kids will grow up on it too.
And that's the thing. All the people who are making it are just like you. I'm just like you when you think about that stuff. And I miss the old days. And there was a time when the game industry was much different. And I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it back. People should support that, support that idea. Please, feel free, all the people who are listening to this, if you see a negative comment on YouTube, answer back. If you go because you'll see misinformation all over the place. There's misinformation everywhere. Oh, people hate it because it just plays mobile games. What the hell are you talking about? So help me. I'm only one person right now, right? I'm one person. And now that you guys know more about it, please help me get out there, and when you see something, comment on it. Help us spread the word. Please sign up to our mailing list. Tell all your friends. Tell them to sign up to the mailing list. If you want to know how you can help me, that's how you can help.
And when this thing comes out, I know at least I'm going to be streaming some of this stuff through our channel.
Great.
That's especially being HDMI, that makes it perfect. I'm going to be, I am an advocate for this. I really am.
And we don't spam people either. So like I said, sign up to the mailing list.
No, you don't.
YouTube channel, please. We do like a video every week or so or whatever. We're not every day. It's not going to bug you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please go on our Facebook page and Twitter, especially Facebook. That's where we do most of our stuff on Facebook if you're on there, but Twitter as well too. Just join it. That's what will help me. We need to, get these numbers rising before we haven't even spent any money on marketing and advertising yet, but we need to get the word out. Share it with your friends on social media. That makes a help. If there's 40 people listening right now, and each one of you tomorrow said, holy crap, was in this thing, found out, check out this website, sign up, or you take our trailer and you put it on your social media. If 40 people did that tomorrow, imagine all of the hundreds and hundreds of people that are going to see that and be interested in it just from you doing it. And it works. It works. And this is what I need people to do for us.
You've got it here for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll admit, before this, I really didn't know much about you.
Of course, that's fair.
About you.
That's fair.
And like I said, back then I didn't have a television, but now, Amico's on my radar now. I'm getting a Xbox Series X later in the holiday, but I'm getting this also, and I want to share this with my family. And I think I think we're all getting it here pretty much. I think we should do a show, and about Amico, and we'll show off our systems and see, You should unbox it together, all of you.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And maybe you might join us maybe post E3 or sometime close to launch, and maybe we can, we definitely want to have you back on. I mean, there's still so much.
We should do it after E3 because once all the cards are on the table, 100 more questions are going to come up going, what? Oh my God, how could you keep that a secret for so long? It's that epic. There's some great, amazing stuff.
All right, so then after E3, we'll have you back on. I mean, I want, this is amazing, the amount of information that we've gotten. I mean, we kind of touched on the music stuff. We talked 3 hours on Amico alone. I mean, that is amazing. Yeah. That is absolutely amazing, and it speaks to your passion to it. And you've got me pumped up, and I was already pumped up. So
awesome. There you go.
I'm going to ask one last question, and I'm going to get everybody out of here.
Do it.
It's, something that I would hope you might do if I can coax it out of you. If I send you my Earthworm Jim book, would you sign it?
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. I'll hit you up on DM and get what I need to send it to you. I would love to. I'd love to have that. And that would be awesome. It's again, between you and Spencer Nielsen, you guys have been ones who I listened to this stuff in the car driving. I mean, that is amazing. I can't tell you. So thank you on behalf of all of us here. Thank you so much for taking this time with us today. You're now one of us. So
awesome. I appreciate it. make sure you send me the link when it's over. Does it
It's
go
perpetual.
on?
The link will be the link. It's YouTube.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's
okay.
yeah.
Well, I'll blast it out to the world tomorrow morning because no one's on social media right now. So tomorrow morning I'll blast it out, and hopefully you guys will get a lot of followers and subscribers too. Because what a great channel! What a great bunch of guys! Very knowledgeable, very passionate. So we need more positive folks out there doing what you guys are doing.
That's Chris.
Thank you, Tommy.
Chris speaks to it. Chris speaks to that all the time with us. Positivity. John. That's why John's here. That's why Thomas is here. That's why Peter's here. That's why I'm here.
Got a good group.
Yeah. So and we appreciate that. I mean, really appreciate that. So Tommy, again, thank you, and
thank you to all the people who've been hanging.
Oh
here.
my God, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it really is. I mean, and hopefully some of you guys who are listening to us for the first time, hit that subscribe button, come back. Next week, we are going to have a retro show before we get back to talking about, we do talk about Xbox and PlayStation and stuff in the news, but before you had decided to come on, we were going to do just a flat-out retro show, talk about the Coleco, talk about the Commodore 64, all of our old stuff that we talk about. I was going to talk about my original Intellivision stuff. So come back and be part of our chat room because we love to interact with you guys, and this helps us to bring other folks aboard. And we just have a lot of fun doing this too. I mean, this has been. I'm not tired. I'm so pumped up. I'm not sleeping tonight.
Well, welcome to every day of my life.
So
to go and start making this stuff tomorrow morning.
Oh man. Well, then we're gonna.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate your passion.
League baseball.
Yeah. Hey, yes. I will mea culpa on that day. That's all right. So, but thank you again. This was wonderful.
Right,
this was wonderful.
Thank you.
So everybody have a great week, gentlemen. Another great show in the books. So, yes. John, aren't you glad you came back, brother?
Oh, God, yes. I'm glad to be on the show again. And, Tommy, it's been wonderful meeting you. Awesome guy.
Appreciate
awesome
it. Thanks.
Guy.
Well, I look forward to the day when me and you meet in person and we're playing Amico together.
Yes, I'd love that.
That'll be a great day.
That will.
And take a ride in your Ferrari, too, right?
Well... Oh, which one? Damn. The one, yeah. All right, everybody. Awesome. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys next Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, play on, gamers.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.